Well, in that case, if we're all here, let's do the traditional thing now, as I'm forcing it to be a tradition.
We have a problem because we can't do the tradition if one person's missing
No,
for
but
the whole game.
they're offline, so they're not on the list. So
Yeah, they don't get any credits in this episode.
Yeah.
So we have Blackheart as
Correct, Mark.
Why'd you put something in your mouth when you
Wow.
knew you were coming up?
I forgot I'm the first one.
You're the first one on the list. It's
okay,
on the
we have
right
Blackheart
side.
as Mark. Kronos as
Argithal.
Haddan as
Thaldir Forgehammer.
Sammy as
Gifton Rotgran.
Tobias as
Caspia, the steel shot. Ow!
okay, good, nice. We have Alaric as the DM. There is no Marcus as Corvus this week because he is off doing far more important things in this game. Who would like?
False.
There's problems
No
with
such
that
things.
because this is the most important part of the week.
Yeah.
Who would like to recap?
I can do it again and give it away. Or something
No,
else.
I want someone else to do it this time.
Okay, not twice in a row. You're saying?
Mm-mm. Okay, I will pick somebody. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Catch a tiger by the toe. If it yelps, let it go. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Augie, your recap.
I mean, that's bad because I generally can't remember.
Well, that's a shame.
I know we scared off some bears and then we arrived. Can't remember much more
I
than
can
that.
do it.
All right, Faldia, you get the recap.
Sarah, I was also eating some chocolate when you were initially doing the
People!
That's why I
You
didn't
told us to get
talk.
snacks.
Listen, don't shut your mouth when we're starting again, okay?
Thank you, Allie. All right, so last week we truly enjoyed the wonders of being on the road, not in Southwest time, which is a very severe shift from where we had been previously, that being Southwest time. And we were disrupted by some bears, but creatively scared them off through the use of an illusory dragon and what smelled like skunk, and the bears retreated back to their cave. After that, we went back to sleep for the night, and packed up and continued on our way. And we ended up encountering a house just off of the path, and decided it'd be a great idea to look in the house, but never vertically until it was too late, and two giant spiders tried to eat Argy and Corvus. They did not succeed. Once again, static electricity horse helped save the day, and we were able to defeat the spiders and ended up burning the house down.
Yeah.
After finding very little in the house that was really worth the time that we just spent on it. And then we went back and continued on the path and arrived at this wonderful, wonderful city of Dolefwood. Introduced ourselves to the people at the gate. They didn't want to let us in. Nobody's allowed to go see the wizard, but we were still allowed in after all, because we told them that we were survivors of Tarnstead. And we were taken to Dove Keep after a brief scenic tour where we saw House Terrace. And once in Dove Keep, we were introduced to some muckety mucks who've decided that they want to interrogate us. And now the continuation.
Correctamundo. Then take your inspiration.
Thank you.
Okay. I believe that when we left off, it was Faldia who had been taken off to be interrogated first, right?
Yep.
So why are we using the word interrogated? That is far too harsh a word, and I think it's flavouring everybody's perception of this. Oh, by the way, to add to the recap, you guys did actually stop through a little town called Coyocroft halfway through your journeys, but it was so uneventful
It was so forgettable.
You completely forgot, and it's as if it never actually happened.
It's as if we never sat there in the game and just the GM happened to forget that town existed.
That's fine. This means after we finish in Dulford, we have to go back there and make sure.
Yeah,
totally.
And then we will meet people that we will spend 17 more sessions on rather than do the thing the DM wanted us to.
Yeah. That was for the best, really. Okay. Someone was going to say something and I interrupted them. I do believe.
I believe you were going to go question Thaldir.
Oh, I thought you were saying something. Okay.
Yeah. What I would like to say, though, is you had asked us when we got in there and they were taking him off to get questioned what we were going to do with ourselves, and I had briefly done a adorable little act of holding my breath. I actually would like to take out my bedroll and try and get some sleep.
Okay. Right, so you're going to basically nap while you can.
I'm going to nap while I can, because we just came off the road.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Okay.
I take it we're in, like...
You're in a...
regular, like, a sitting room or something.
Yes, basically.
We're not in. They're not locking us up or anything. So we actually have places we could. Is it comfortable?
It's actually a what looks like to be a disused barracks room. There are some cots in here.
Flop on a cot.
Yeah. So if you want to actually set your bedroll up on a larger bed, Sam, entirely possible. There's a few tables and chairs.
I will accept assistant being set somewhere else up, but otherwise I'll start setting up on ground floor because it's actually effort for me to get up there.
And
dingus.
Food is actually brought for you because I believe that was mentioned as well before we ended that they were going to bring you some food to eat. It's very basic. It's a stew, but it's warm. It's hot.
Am I going to be unhappy about this?
What are you talking about? You have a bag of making things taste better.
Yeah, but I'm not going to pull that out in the middle of this.
Coward.
You could.
Could, yeah. People might be watching. They might want to take my bag.
We do have a guard sitting there watching us right now, but you know.
No, there's a guard outside.
Oh, I thought he was in the room because he was watching us do the breathing contest. But yeah, I'll eat some food and I'm gonna try and get a nap somewhere, either underneath one of the cots or something like that, wherever I can set up. But sorry, go back to Thaldir, I guess.
All right, so Thaldir, you are led to this room. You were introduced to the mage that was there, as I stated last time. Who casts a Stone of Truth. With your permission, they ask if you're comfortable with this first.
I guess. Let's get this over with.
And then William Tillman, the Shire Reef here, asks you, please recount for me the events of the night of Tarnstead burning to the best of your ability.
Well, the actual night of Tarnstead's burning seemed to come out of nowhere. Suddenly we heard large sounds coming from the outskirts of town and then burning. Arrows and more. They rushed through the town. Wasn't much time to evacuate. They slaughtered several people. How many for sure I couldn't say. I wasn't in the town most of the time.
Why were you not in the town?
My home is just outside of the main area, on the opposite side from where they attacked.
And what brought you into town that day?
The attack.
The attack?
Although I had been in town earlier because a boy had shot himself in the foot.
You get a look at that, but, telling the truth, so that must be how you believe it happened.
He was patched up by the doctor, and I assume they did something with his boot.
The self-same doctor that has travelled with you?
Yes.
Okay. Was there any signs early in the day that would indicate the oncoming attack?
None that I know of.
Tell me, you said the attack was quick. How early was the evacuation order sounded?
I believe it was sounded roughly the same time that the fires began.
Okay. These fires, what means were they lit?
I believe they were shooting fire arrows.
Did the how involved in the defense and evacuation were you?
Not very. I attempted to assist a couple people. I briefly tried to help put out a fire, but realized that the efforts were in vain. The bar was. There were a number of people trying to save the bar with a chain of buckets, but in the end, I yelled at some people to go back, and I did not try to engage the attackers.
You did not attempt to engage, but did you sight any of these attackers yourself?
Yes, a few.
Would you please describe what they were like to me? What armaments they were carrying? Were there any spellcasters? Anything you can give me?
Personally, trying to remember for sure exactly.
We do know there was a spellcaster
what-
at the center of the town at the end because they.
Yeah.
What you personally saw had then? You've seen horsemen.
Yeah.
You've seen just general barbarians carrying axes and so on. General armaments. You may have heard what sounded like electricity and fire that you in your military time would recognise as basically arcane bombardment hitting the keep across town, but you didn't see them yourself.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought I might have been away before.
And of course, the warlord who did the great big fucking scary summoning bullshit.
Mhm. Well, most of it was just Goliath barbarians with normal armaments, swords or whatever the like. I know they were on horseback, or at least some were on horseback. I heard sounds that might have been some form of spell casting, but I'm by no means an expert and I didn't see it. I believe there was some ritual at the end. I honestly don't know what happened.
A ritual. Could you describe this further, please?
He was chanting something, yelled something about how the town had been claimed for I can't even recall the name that he claimed it for. At that point, I was more focused on getting away than paying attention to what he was saying.
Would you be able to describe this individual?
He was definitely in charge. He looked different, but as I said, I was busy turning. I was rushing away by that point. Wanted to get anyone I was with to safety, and I knew at that point if I stayed, I'd be dead.
Upon hearing that, he puts down his quill and he actually takes another piece of paper. Your name, Forge Hammer, right?
That is correct.
Tell me, how long did you live in Tarnstead?
It's been several decades.
A more exact number, if possible, please.
Somewhere near 70, I believe.
70 years.
I wasn't exactly paying too much attention.
Were you there for the original attack on Tarnstead some 70 years ago?
No.
No. Okay.
I moved after I heard that it had happened, but that was all.
Tell me, Mr. Forchhammer, where do you originally hail from?
Going back quite a ways. Not even sure the place exists. It was a mining community.
Mining community. Far away then.
Yes. We just called it Underhill.
Still within the borders of Brast?
I don't know, honestly.
We will get you a map later. Tell me, did you on that night happen to see the guard captain, one Captain Edmund?
I don't remember seeing him now.
Okay. Now, Mr. Forchhammer, do not mean to sound accusatory, but I must ask this. Did you have anything to do with the attack? The cause of it? Did you help the invaders in any way?
No.
No. Good. All right. He notes some stuff down, and then he takes up another piece of parchment, which you recognise as based on the broken wax seal on it, the letter Henry had sent with you all. Now, I see here that since your departure from Tarnstead, you have done a few small feats in assisting others.
Yes, I've tried to help.
Tell me, why?
There were people who needed help.
And what drives you to help those in need?
Because they're in need to assist those who need it.
So, a base drive.
I suppose the reward wasn't a bad incentive either, but yes, to help people.
Okay. Now, one last question. Do you believe any of your companions have anything to do with the attack? Anything to hide themselves?
I have no reason to believe that.
Okay. Right. Very good. He writes a few things down and then goes, that will do for now. Guardsman John, please escort Mr. Forgehammer to the other room. And then go collect the next one. And the door opens, and you see a guardsman standing there, beckoning to you.
I'll follow him.
Okay, and he leads you not back to the room with the others, but to another smaller room where you're just asked to wait for a bit.
Alright, fine.
Then, everyone else, the door to your little room opens, and a new guardsman pops his head in, and he looks around and goes, "All right, who wants to go next?"
I guess I can if nobody else wants to.
Okay,
Where's
come along.
Faldir?
Faldir's in a separate holding room right now. You'll see him shortly. Don't worry.
Okay. Carrot, come back, okay?
I will.
Carrot, come back.
Carrot,
Yes.
you are led to the same little briefing room that Faldir was. You're seen in, and you see William Tillman sitting behind his desk, a chair across from him, which he gestures for you to sit in, and in the corner of the room, a elven mage who seems to be in the middle of.
I'm guessing obvious mage, you know.
You would guess, based by the robes and such, he looks very much like the image of a mage, the popular image.
Okay, so he's a trope. Got it.
Yes, he is a trope.
Okay.
Name, please.
Carrick Marsk.
Right, Carrick Mask. Do you consent to being questioned under a stone of truth?
Sure.
Okay, marvelous. And he nods to the mage, who finishes off his incantation, and then you feel that pressure of truthfulness in your mind.
Out of character, it tingles.
It does tingle.
If I
Is it winter fresh?
It is wintry fresh, like the mintiest mint.
I'm gonna miss this feeling in 15 levels.
Okay, Mr. Mask. Tell me, what happened on the night of Tarnstead's attack?
I was sent out for my break by Miss Thornberry, and I heard the drums and chanting, and then flaming arrows came from the sky, lighting the tavern on fire and other buildings.
Okay. Tell me, Mr. Masker, how long did it take for the guards to respond?
I don't know. We started trying to put the tavern fire out. I wasn't paying attention to what the guards were doing.
Okay. You say you were trying to put the tavern out. Why were you trying to save this building?
That was where I worked.
It was where you worked.
Yes.
Did you not feel that the attack was severe enough to flee?
We didn't know what was happening. My mom and I have always been there since we moved there.
So you moved there. You weren't born in Tarnstead?
No, I was born in Needlewood.
Needlewood. What? Are you with your mother now?
No, Miss Thornberry took her. I tried to sneak back to her house to get some stuff before someone tried to steal it.
Okay. Tell me, did you try to assist in the defense of Tarnstead at all, or was it just extinguishing this building?
No, I tried to save some other people. I was sneaking, making sure they didn't get attacked.
Okay, I bet you did try and help people then.
Yes, Mr. Forgehammer was almost snuck up by one of them.
Yes. Your companions of current, how did you come to be with them all during this attack?
We kind of ran into each other as we were getting out of the town. I ran into Thaldir on the way to my house, and then as we were getting out, most of us didn't know what we were doing, and Thaldir kind of directed all of us.
And why did you follow Faldir? What made him?
He actually seemed to know what he was doing.
Do you know why?
No, I just know he's very old. I don't know what he did before.
Okay. Tell me, did you sight any of the invaders?
Yes.
Could you describe what you saw to me?
They were all Goliaths. Some were mounted, some were just going around on foot, and at the end there was a bigger one than the rest of them with a big two-handed sword. I think out of character was two-handed sword.
He had a two-handed sword that was far bigger than most two-handed swords are. Way bigger than they should be able to wield.
It was a lot bigger than I'd ever seen anything. And he did some spell or something, claiming the place.
Okay, so you believe he was a spellcaster?
I don't think there's any other way he could have done that.
Were there any other spellcasters within their forces?
Out of character, I don't think I remember seeing anyone.
You didn't. You may have heard what the others heard, but that's up to you.
I didn't think I saw anyone. I didn't see any others. Most of them were just swinging around axes.
Okay. Now, do you believe that there was anything that could have been done to save the town?
If we knew they were coming, maybe, but it was pretty surprised.
Yes. Tarnstead's garrison had a substantial number assigned to it. Do you know if they all took part in the defense? Did you see any flee?
Now you made me go out of character thought. I saw because we were able to see the attacking on the.
You could see the defensive line, yes.
I saw a defensive line, but I didn't really see anyone fleeing until. I don't know what happened after he cast. I don't know if they broke then. I think out of character, actually, they broke before the spell, didn't they?
They broke before the spell.
because they were charged by.
But you didn't really see any fleeing so much as just being cut down.
Yeah, nobody was fleeing.
Okay. Did you cite Captain Del Edmund at all during this day? The garrison's commander, if you're not familiar with him.
Out of character.
Mm-hmm.
Did I see him during work?
You did not.
Okay. I don't know who I actually saw that day during the work part. No, I did not see him during the day.
Right. Do you believe any of your companions had anything to do with the attack?
Don't think so.
Okay. Did you yourself have anything to do with the attack?
I did not, sir.
Okay. Yes.
Could I ask you a little question?
Certainly.
Who would I go to here to see if my mother maybe showed up here?
I'm afraid that would be me.
Has my mother shown up here?
And there has been no Miss Mask.
Okay, thank you, sir.
However, I do have reports still coming in from surrounding towns. There are survivors in other locations. I will see about going through those reports myself.
Okay.
I think that is all. Okay, you are dismissed. John will show you to a room with your friend Faldia.
Okay, thank you, sir.
And he just sort of waves at you dismissively.
Okay, I'm gonna get up and follow.
Yeah. You are led out by the guardsman and led to Faldia.
I'm gonna ask for water.
I'll send someone with some water.
Thank you.
Right. So there's Faldia, and the door is shut behind you.
Am I going to be out for a little bit?
Yes.
Will you go through? Okay, because
you need to.
I use the restroom again.
Yeah, you're free.
Dinner's not happening with me, so.
Says Faldia. Right.
I just said bye.
Oh, bye. Okay. Yeah, Carrick is actually led away for a potty break. Okay. Guardsman John returns to the main chamber. He pokes his head in and he looks at you, Cassiopeia. He goes, Centaur, you next.
Okay. And she gets up and stretches and trots along.
Right. Yep.
Loud clack.
Clack, clack, clack. Clop, to clop, to clop.
Steel iron horseshoes. Stone. Clack,
Yep,
clack,
so
clack, clack.
Gifton, it's now just you, Hargy, and Marcus. What's his name? Corvus. Cassiopeia, you are led to the self-same room. As you're led in, the guardsman actually moves the chair aside from the table, just to let you sit on your haunches.
Is the door big enough for me to actually walk through upright, or do I have to crouch?
No, you can get through it.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's not like Tarnstead. The door's actually decent height.
You let in, and you see, as the others did, Shire William Tillman, and what looks to be a mage in the corner. And
she waves at the sheriff.
And he gestures you to sit.
And she'll sit.
Okay. Your name, please?
Caspia Steelshot?
Okay. And he pauses.
Or Cassiopeia, sorry.
And he pauses and goes, Steelshot Mercenary Company?
Yes. My parents.
Your parents? What were you doing in well, we'll get to that in a moment. Do you consent to speaking under a stone of truth?
Yes.
Thank you. And he gestures at the mage who finishes off a incantation. Right. Once again, you are Cassiopeia
Steelshot.
Steelshot. Tell me, what was one of the mercenary company doing in Tarnstead?
Well, technically, I'm part of the company because I'm family, but I'm actually a carpenter.
You're a carpenter?
Yes.
Okay. Why did they send a carpenter to Tarnstead?
I trained under N. Gunderson, and I went back during my journey phase.
Oh, so you knew in Gunderson.
Yes.
Okay. Tell me, as best you can, the events of the night of the attack on Tarnstead.
Well, I was closing up the shop after In gave me the keys and giving me some more work to do over the next day or so. And he went off to do his thing, which is In's thing, so I didn't question it. As I was heading to get something to eat, I heard this weird chanting out in the fields, and a group of us started getting curious, and we started gathering around. And then I guess the easiest way to explain it is hell broke loose.
In more exact words, if you please.
Um, it was a very, very bizarre night. There was a lot of chanting out in the fields as if people were working themselves up for a fight. Then the rain of arrows came in.
1 second, I must clarify. These were battle chants, not arcane spell casting chants.
She looks at him. Honestly, I couldn't tell the difference.
He shuffles through some papers and finally finds one he's looking for. Let's see. Door. Sound familiar?
Yes.
Yes, okay. Yes, it's a Goliath battle chant. Means death to all, by the way. Continue, please.
Well, the arrows came in, but some of them were on fire, and they were starting to light buildings on fire. People started forming up. Individuals were grabbing water to put out in individual buildings, and I made a suggestion to put out the inn because it might be a good place to hold out if things went bad.
So at that point, you felt there was still a chance of holding out against this attack?
Yes. Or at least weathering it until help could come.
Okay. Tell me, did you sight any of these Goliaths yourself?
Yes.
Would you please describe what you saw?
It was a Goliath on horseback, bare from the waist up, tattooing, mad glint in his eyes. He was riding around cutting people down, and I kind of got angry and decided I had enough, and I tried to kick him.
So you tried to fight back against these invaders?
Yes. And out of character, do I have a scar from where he hit me?
I'll let you choose.
She kind of shrugs her shirt a little bit to show.
In fact, it might not even be. It wouldn't be a scar at this point. It would still be pretty fresh if you choose to have it.
Yeah, she's going to kind of shuffle her shirt to show the carving.
Okay. And that did not fail you, I see.
We steel shards are made of sterner stuff.
Right. Tell me, did you see anybody else trying to fight back?
I occasionally saw a guard here and there, but most everyone was trying to run.
Okay. As a matter of the guards, do you believe that the garrison's full complement was on the defense?
They had to have been, because with the amount of noise those Goliaths were making, if anyone was still asleep, they are the heaviest sleepers I have ever met.
Okay. Now, did you sight Captain Dell Edmund during all of this?
She's actually stopping and thinking. I don't think I did.
Okay. Tell me, do you believe anything else could have been done to save that town?
If the only thing I would say in hindsight, the only way this to save the town would have been to have known they were coming ahead of time and prepped. That's the only way. The amount of force they hit was a wave of bodies against. If the entire regiment was out, they went around the regiment to get to the town.
So there was no early warning from the border defenses.
Not that I know. Like I said, the only warning I know of was the chanting.
Okay. Now, did you spy any enemy spellcasters during all of this?
I can't say if he was, but I think he might have been the one in charge, and he did something, and I would say it might have been a spell cast.
This one wielding the larger than usual greatsword?
Yes, and the pointy armor.
And the pointy armor.
Lots
Okay.
and big, heavy armor.
Now, forgive me for asking this, but did you have anything to do with the attack on Tarnstead?
No.
Do you believe any of your companions had anything to do with the attack on Tarnstead?
No.
Okay. Is there anything else you'd like to add to the record?
I hate bears.
Bears.
Sorry. Ever since we left Tarnstead, it's been just us being harried continuously.
Yes, I actually have a note here from a Guardsman Henry. I need
Henry
to tell the
was
story to
nice.
actually include his second name in these reports. He has stated that you have helped quite a lot in his local village.
We after our week of running, particularly from the wolves, we were tired and we ended up in town and we started to rest up and people seemed on edge and the others found out what was going on and decided to try and help.
Yes, and what drove you to help?
Well, I had no particular drive to help. I was following the others because I became a carpenter, so I didn't have to get into fighting.
So it
But
was
I
a
know
matter of
how.
sticking with your companions.
But I know how to fight. I know how to fight fairly well, I think. So when they decided they were going to go, I went with them to make sure they had all the help they could get.
Okay. And he seems to actually be reading Henry's letter even as he's talking to you. Like he hasn't actually had a chance to go through this fully. And he goes, I see that you handed in 2 adventurers' marks.
Yes, there was a Goliath outrider that we came across who had killed 2 adventurers.
Okay. First, third. Okay, one of these adventurers was decently seasoned at least. And you... Was this you and the rest of your companions encountered this Goliath?
Yes.
And you managed to take him out.
We kind of got the jump on him.
Okay. Well, thank you for handing those in. It's always nice to hear what happens to our brave adventurers. Okay. That's all for now. Unless there is anything you wish to say.
Just one thing. Could you avoid telling any of the steel shot company I'm here? And she smiles brightly.
Run away, are we?
Yes and no.
Well, it is not my business to report this to anybody other than my own commanders, so...
Thank you,
He
sir.
smiles. Right, you are dismissed. And Guardsman John opens the door up and gestures for you to come out.
Caspian stands up and happily clip-clops out.
Right. You are led to the room with Carrick and Valdir. You are seen in. As Cassiopeia comes in, water is also brought in.
Didn't get yourself
Thank you.
arrested or executed. Proud of you.
No, he's scary.
Ah,
Then Guardsman John reappears at the other door and takes Corvus away. And some time passes.
See.
And notably, Corvus is not returned to the room with Valdir and so on.
I'll be back in a few minutes.
Yeah.
Hearing gate stuff, and gate stuff should not be going on at this time.
Guardsman John then returns, and he points at Argy. You next.
Okay. Argy will get up and follow him.
I'll see
And,
you after.
Gifton, Dingus beeps worriedly at you.
When
It's now just the two of
she
you.
says, when Gifton says, "See you after," Argy actually pauses and goes, "Yeah, okay," and just walks.
See, Gifton's
Okay.
all types of alarmed, thinking that you're nervous for her. There's some major miscommunication going on.
Yes.
Situational awareness.
You can pick up the flashes and colours of anxiety from Dingus.
And I'm basically gonna cuddle in with Dingus because I'm getting nervous too because now it's just us. You know.
And you get flash of protect Gifton. Argy, you are led to the same chamber as everyone else was. Inside, you see the Shire Reeve, and you see a arcane spellcaster in the corner, as you assume they are, based on their dress. And
Argy will look at the seat and sit down because she assumes that's what she's supposed to do.
yeah, he nods at you and goes, "Your name, please."
Argy Thal.
Okay. Do you consent to speaking under a song of truth?
I do.
Marvelous. And he gestures at the mage who finishes off a spell cast. And he then asks you, RG4, was it?
Yes.
Recount for me the night of the attack on Tarnstead as best you can, please.
I woke up with a killer headache after drinking far too much the day before, and then when found out my house was on fire, grabbed the bag I had for running away from my parents and booked it out. Stuck to the shadows in the back alleys and ended up meeting the others on the outside of town.
Okay. So you hid from most of the attack?
Yes.
Tell me, did you sight any of the attackers yourself?
Out of character, I can't remember if I did, but I don't think I did. I think every time I heard a sound, I purposely changed directions.
You might have caught glimpses of them, but yeah, you didn't get any good looks.
Not that I can recall. Anytime I heard one coming, I changed which direction I was going.
Okay. How did the attack begin?
Honestly, I woke up with my house on fire, so I'm assuming with a lot of noise I didn't hear.
Tell me, why were you so heavily intoxicated?
Because I've had a drinking problem for the last bit. And she kind of counts on her fingers about 70 years.
70 years. 70 years. Have you been in Tarnstead your whole life?
As far as I can remember, the last 147, something like that. 145.
Okay.
Okay.
So you were there for the original attack.
Yes, both my parents died in it.
I see. I'm sorry to hear that.
I've had 70 years to badly deal with that.
He gives you a grim smile.
She gives the best smile she can at the moment.
So, did you see any of the garrison defense?
I heard movement of people, but again, I stuck to trying to remain out of sight and away from people because, I'll be honest, I was being a coward and just trying to get out.
There's no shame in that. You're a civilian. Let's see. Okay, so you would be unable to provide any description.
Not of anyone there now.
Okay. What led you to meet up with your companions? Were you seeking them out, or was it happenstance?
Happenstance.
Happenstance.
I vaguely knew most of them beforehand, but hadn't really had an interaction beyond, hey, how are you? You're still drunk? Yes. Okay.
Tell me, I know you were apparently passed out for most of the day, but did you sight Captain Del Edmund at any point?
Not that I can recall. I really only went from where I was, or from my house, the brewery, to the tavern to drop off a load for the day, ate, and then came back and started drinking.
Okay. Right. He seems a little disappointed about the information he's getting from you.
I'm sorry.
Do not apologise. It can't be helped. Let's see. Do you suspect any of your companions had anything to do with this attack?
No,
Did you have anything to do with this attack?
I honestly don't know.
You honestly don't know.
Well, I have a drinking problem, and from what I was told, the Goliaths that attacked line up with the descriptions of ones that I was doing trade with previously. And I was trading brewery supplies and recipes with them, and I tended to drink with them.
So you're the town brewer. Okay.
Yes.
Could you tell me about this barbarian tribe you traded with?
Argy will give the best description of them she can.
Okay.
We haven't really gone over it as much
Yeah.
again.
The description is very typical for the southern barbarian tribes. They are brash, harsh, but jovial. They're liable to get into a fist fight with somebody and be drinking with them afterwards. It's very much that typical trope of the. It's very Klingon, to be frank.
Yeah.
Should
also remark, like, if you want, I do remember where at the time, their homeland was that I'd always met them at.
I would appreciate that. I will bring a map to you after this. Tell me, during your drinking with them, did you reveal anything about the garrison's number, their patrol schedules?
I genuinely don't know. I drank a lot. So I wouldn't put it out of the realm of reason.
So you think it's possible?
Unfortunately, yes.
Okay. He pauses for a moment, sort of crosses his arms, leaning on the desk, staring at you, as if pondering what to do with that information. This puts me in an uncomfortable position, Miss Fowl.
I kind of figured, and I'd admittedly been sitting on that for a while.
He closes his eyes and then tell me, did you, with any ill intent, plan to bring harm to Tarnstead?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
I already lost other people I cared about in this attack. Why would I want to bring it about people who honestly have nothing to do with me?
Good. All right. He actually writes that down, taps his fingers again, and then you will be sequestered for a short while.
I kind of figured.
Don't panic, please. Just stay calm. John, take her to the lockup, please. And Guardsman John comes in. He takes hold of your upper arm gently, though, as if just guiding you.
Argy gets up and goes with.
Okay. And you are led well away from the rest, deeper into the keep, to what looks to be a set of jail cells. Currently empty, but you are put into one, and it is locked.
Bye, Kronos.
Ellie sits down.
Yeah. And soon enough, Guardsman John journeys to collect you, Gifton. For everyone else in the other room, it's been a while since you've seen anyone come in. There's been no Marcus, no Corvus rather, and now no Argy. And based on the timings of how long it took for him to question you, they should have been here.
This is getting problematic.
We're almost out of water again.
Did you have something of Argy's to drink recently?
No, I try to avoid that.
Well, Guardsman John comes to collect you. Gifton, you see the door open, and you see him sort of look around, spot Dingus, and then spot you.
Yeah.
It's like, you next, please.
Oh, okay. Is he coming too?
Sure, yes.
Okay.
What is he, your pet?
No, he's not my pet. I'm a dragon knight.
A dragon knight.
Yeah.
Love it.
You see a mirthful look across his face, and he's clearly suppressing a laugh. And he goes, so you ride him?
Yeah. I see. I got a saddle, and I'm gonna hop up in the saddle.
Well, then I suppose I don't have to ask you. I need to carry you. Come along then.
Hey.
And you are led into the same briefing room.
This is officially the cutest thing he has seen today.
Yeah. And you do see that look of surprise being masked by a professional composer as you're led in from both the mage and William Tillman. And the door's closed behind you. And Tillman sort of gestures up on his desk. Up here, if you please.
Okay, I'll direct the Dingus to fly up there.
Dingus flies up there,
Yep.
and then Dingus is looking suspiciously at Tillman and the mage.
I'm
He's
gonna
sort of,
lean in and whisper to Dingus, "It's okay. They're important people. They're nice. They're nice." And I'm gonna come out, and then I am going to undo the sheath belt I have with my sword on it around me, and I am going to lightly set my blade down to show I'm unarmed.
Yeah.
With hands up.
Yeah. Tillman's having trouble hiding that amused look now.
Yeah.
But he gives you a thankful nod. Your name, please.
I'm Gifton Brockgren, and this is Dingus.
Dingus. Maris, you have some treats, don't you, for your familiars? And Maris gives him a little nod. She's like, why don't you make friends? And you see Maris pull out what looks to be some little meaty morsels and come here, Dingus. And Dingus looks at you for permission.
I nod.
Never
refuse. I never refuse treats for my pet.
The
Do you
best part is
dismount yet?
Yeah, I
or-
dismounted. I dismounted and put my sword down. I already did that.
Yeah.
So
the best part is regardless of how
I'm gonna put my hands behind my back, and I'm just kind of look like I'm really nervous.
Yeah.
You know.
And you watch Dingus bound off to get his treats.
Uh,
And Tillman goes, okay, do you consent to speak under a throne of truth?
what's a zone of truth?
It's a magical spell that means you can't lie.
Why would I lie?
Some people try to lie to hide things.
Oh well, I won't lie. But if you want to do that, does it hurt?
It doesn't hurt, no.
Okay. Does it last forever?
It does not last forever, no.
Oh, okay. Because sometimes I like to play tricks.
Yes. You will be out of its vicinity when you leave this room.
Okay. Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Okay, Maris, and the mage finishes his casting. Okay, you said your name is Gifton Brockgren?
Yep. I am the Tarnstead Brockgrens.
Yes, your people, Brownie, I believe you call yourselves?
Yep, Ernie.
So, I assume you have dwelt in Tarnstead all your life.
Yeah, I have. My family's been there for. Well, they've been in the area for about 150 years.
Yes, and
I've only been around for 23.
he nods as if that's actually what he was about to ask.
She says that like she's kind of shy about it because it's
Yeah.
a very low number.
Right, and I believe you kept yourselves secret from most of Tarnstead's populace, right?
Yeah, there is the arrangement of we fix things and we do good things and we make good luck happen and we take the offerings they leave and we're supposed to stay out of sight and we're not supposed to interact with anybody or else we get cast out and that is bad and I have no home.
Yes, I'm sorry about that. There are a lot of people with that story now. Tell me, did you ever journey outside of Tarnstead? He asked almost absent-mindedly as he's actually looking for other papers.
Only with my friends. I with after everything bad happened, I lived there was a farm, the Riley farm, and it was just on the inside edge of Tarnstead, and that's where my family lived. But I never got to go anywhere. mostly just had to do jobs.
Okay. And let's see. But no journeys outside of Tarnstead before the attack.
No, nobody left. The only people ever went in the woods is the Honeyfoots, and it's just too dangerous to go out.
He nods. And tell me, why did you reveal yourself to your companions?
Well, it was my dad told me to go home and get my grandma because everything was on fire, and she wasn't awake, and I couldn't get her to talk, and I hauled her back into town. I was trying to find somebody who could help her, but everybody was running and nobody was listening. And my friend, Carix, he's one of the Gray Steels, Carrick Grayskill. He told me he could run faster, and he took my grandmother and he gave me the sword, and he told me to go find my parents. And the tavern came down and killed my dad. And it was just really bad. And there was this big, really big guy with a horse, and he got between me and my parents, and I tried to challenge him, but he just laughed at me. And Gray Steels and all of them were fighting back because they said it was our town too, and we shouldn't just let it happen. And they were just killing everybody. They didn't care. They weren't trying to take anything. They weren't trying to take anyone. They were just killing. And I couldn't stop it. I couldn't stop any of it. She's actually breaking down pretty bad.
He grimaces a bit, and you actually see him reach up into his pocket on his uniform, and he pulls out a handkerchief, and he sort of leans it down towards you.
Yeah, and I'll take it, and I'll start kind of wipe my eyes with it. And I was like, but I was supposed to help out at the Gray Steels because they were getting the copper filings from the smithy that day, because the Gray Steels have been secretly making weapons for a while. They've been doing it ever since what happened 70 years ago when my grandpa died. And they've been making them in secret in case there was something like this again. And they thought maybe they could help fight back, but they were just cutting us down like nothing.
I have further questions, but do you need a break?
No, I'll be okay.
He nods, and would you be able to describe any of these Goliaths to me?
Yeah, there was this guy on a horse. If I remember right, I'm just saying this out of character. He had the tattoos, and he was the bare-chested one. I think that Cassiopeia had interjected with, or was he heavily armored? I can't remember.
No, he was bare.
He was a big bare-chested guy, a big horse, big two-handed weapon. So she's just a big two-handed weapon, and he kept saying in a really threatening way, "What do you think you can do?" And he was covered in these tattoos, and she'll describe the tattoos as much as she can. 'Cause, I mean, he was a big guy to her, and then described that, and then vaguely described, the shapes of the other ones she saw moving around, and then he had a big scary voice, and I think he was the one at the center of town when we left.
No, you know that wasn't one. The one in the center of town was heavily armored.
Oh yeah, there was another one that was heavily armored center of town. There's another one heavily armored center of town, and they did this thing. I don't know what the words they were saying were, but suddenly the whole town turned black.
Would you be able to recount those words at all, even if you don't understand them?
I am assuming I need an int check because because we didn't actually get those words.
You heard them yelled.
Oh, we heard them yelled, but I don't think I actually got them, so I could write them down in any way. So.
Yeah.
So int check. She's going to do her best to remember what they said.
Hatu Brata necktie.
I don't expect any of you to actually remember the words because they were gibberish Ali made up on the spot.
Yep. So.
You can sort of mumble it, but it's not clear.
It's not perfect, but it's
You
like,
remember the cadence and like how
Yeah.
long it was, but
yeah, it was like I can give about the right syllables, and I can't quite get the thing right, and I'm like something
it was
like that. But more loud and big.
Yes. Okay.
Am I gonna
Tell
go
me.
to jail?
You're not going to go to jail now.
Okay.
He says, as he's not thinking he should say that just yet, but he seems confident.
Yeah.
Tell me, did you cite to Captain Dale Edmund at all during that day?
I didn't talk to anybody until Corvus showed up. I was kind of lost. I didn't know what to do because my parents, when the inn came down, I lost them. And we were the only ones left in my family after what happened last time. And but Corvus came up, and he sounded so scared, and I just remember hearing him sound so scared, and it made me think of when the Riley girl was scared at night, and I didn't want her to be scared, but I didn't know how to make her feel better, and I didn't want to just leave him like that, so I let him outside town, and then I went with everybody else to try to keep them hidden.
So you helped this group survive?
A bit. I'm not sure they needed me, but I tried. I hope that's okay.
Yes, that's commendable. Tell me, now this is a question everyone's been asked, so do not assume I am putting guilt on you, but did you have anything to do with the attack on Tarnstead?
No, I mean, unless, like, me telling everybody about how the Sinclair boy shot himself in the foot, because I kind of was gossiping throughout the day.
No, I don't think that idle gossip would have caused that. Do you believe any of your companions had anything to do with the attack on Tarnstead?
Oh no, they're all really good people. Everybody's really good. They and the doctor helped the boy that shot his foot, and Thaldir like helped him get to town, and then everything happened, and there was those people that got attacked in the woods, and we tried to stop the thing, but we couldn't stop them in time.
Tell me, do you know why Dr. Corvus Adelas was not with the garrison at the time of the attack?
He was in town taking care of the boy's foot, and then, I don't know after that, because I had to work in the smithy all day, and then I got sent back to my house and it was on fire.
But you did not see him take part in the defense?
I don't think I saw him at all until she kind of frowns. I have a kind of a different point of view from most people, and I'll be honest, other than just avoiding the loud sounds of people coming, I don't usually look at who's there.
He nods and goes, okay, that'll be all. Tell me, Gifton Botgren, right?
Yeah.
Any relation to, he frowns as he's trying to figure out the spelling of the word, Botti Botgren and Juvel Botgren?
I have to check my own goddamn list here.
That's your mother and grandmother.
Her eyes light up and goes, that's my mom and grandma. Are they here?
Yes, yes, you'll be seeing them shortly. And this Greysteel boy, what was his name again?
It was Care Gold Greysteel. Care Greysteel. His dad was Care Greysteel.
Yes, he's here as well. Okay, that's all of you. You'll be taken to your companions, and then they will be led to the main group of survivors we have holed up here.
Okay, thank you.
Yes,
are we...
Anything else you wish to state?
She bites her lip.
I hate mares.
I know with your people and proper society, it's important to be honest about this. I can cast magic spells.
He quirks an eyebrow. Magic, you say?
I can heal people and stuff.
I think we can let Summon of Truth go. Maris, and Maris nods, and then he steps forward towards you. I'm going to check you quickly. It won't hurt.
Okay.
And then you see him muttering another incantation and waving his hands over you.
Mhm.
And then he leans down to peer at you a bit more closely. And then you see him shaking his head towards the commander. Not arcane. And there's another head shake. No. Okay. Well, whatever spellcasting ability you have, I don't think it's of any interest to us. So
Okay, so I'm not in trouble.
you're not in trouble, no.
Okay.
And no one that volunteers their information is in trouble.
Okay, well I don't know because we only hear things secondhand.
He
I think the bad word for it is spying.
he gives you a amused little smile and he beckons you towards the door. Well, you and your mount may go
Right. Come on,
and
Dingus.
join your friend. Right, and Dingus meeps, hops back up onto the table for you to get on.
Yep, I'll climb on, and I'll ride wherever I'm led.
Yeah, and Guardsman John leads you to join the rest of them. So you enter the room, and notably, everyone's there except Argy and Corvus.
Where's Archie and Corvus?
Don't know. We don't know.
They took them before they took me.
Well, that means we're gonna have a talk with someone.
They said I'm not going
Guardsman
to
John
jail.
then looks like he really wants to close the door a lot quicker.
Bye, Mr.
Take a
Guardsman
step
John. Thank you
forward.
for bringing us stuff.
Do you
Need
put
more
your foot in
water.
the door jam?
We need more water.
Yeah. Yes, Mr. Forgehammer?
First of all, this one needs more water.
That's 2 jugs already.
He also needs to pee, probably.
It's a growing boy. And a chamber pot might be helpful.
Under the table over there.
Ew.
Well, not going to use that, so I'd suggest getting more water as well.
Right, more water. Got it. I'll be right with you.
Bye.
Where are the other?
Mr. Adalas is being detained for further debriefing,
Mm-hmm.
and your friend
Corvus.
is being held for further questioning as well.
Aren't they both our friends?
Wait, there are friends?
He's doing that to Gifted.
They're both our friends, aren't they?
I thought so, but it made it sound like it wasn't.
Oh.
There is the chance that no, I'm not supposed to listen in at the door, so I don't know. And the
Young man, out with it.
he actually gives you an odd look and goes, "Sir, no."
It'd be very nice if you did.
Yes, and I also very much enjoy my position and job here, sir. So if you'll excuse me, I'll go get you that
If
water.
you could pass on our concern for our friends, that would be great. Thank you.
That I can do.
This guy called Sir.
Do you wish for me to ask Captain Edmund to brief you further? That's what I can do.
Please.
Not
Yeah.
Edmund, Tillman.
Tillman, yeah.
Yeah.
Please do that if you can. That would be great. And why are you drinking so much water?
I'm nervous.
You are sweating so much.
Great.
It's
Now I'm
hot in
just
here.
imagining Carrick in airplane. Got a drinking problem. Splash. Face.
You see him head off towards where the debriefing room was after closing the door.
Guys,
okay. Sick
guys.
nerves,
They
you're
said
like,
that my
just,
grandma and my mom are here. My grandma and my mom are here.
That's
That's
very
good.
good news.
Yay!
He called me Sir.
Yes.
Nobody's ever called me Sir.
Congratulations, you're becoming a man.
I usually call other people Sir. Eric is very easily confused and stuff like this.
Okay.
Well, when you hit a certain age, it happens a lot.
You might get knighted. You never know.
I would
mean, we
bless
can't.
his hair, but he's
I mean,
you know,
we won't leave without
tall.
them. But we should probably just wait and see first, because we might just make it worse.
I think we're in here because we're supposed to stay here until we leave.
Yeah, we think we're staying here anyway. Anyway, I'm gonna get some more sleep. Come on, Dingus, sleep.
As he's trying to get some sleep, there's another sound of the door being opened.
Oh no.
And Tillman steps in.
Hi, Mr. Man.
I was told you have concerns.
Where's our friends?
Adalas has been debriefed properly. We're checking his credentials and getting a full report from him. It's procedure. Nothing to worry about there. Your other companion, Hagi, has admitted the possibility of... she may have been related to the attack on Tarnstead.
What do you
What?
mean?
She has done trade with the barbarian tribes before, and is unsure whether they have given information that may have helped with this attack.
Trade with the barbarians.
Oh no. I mean,
Do you not understand?
The trade is not what is the issue. The possibility of revealing information in a drunken stupor is the issue here.
I don't even see what information she could have revealed that would have helped them.
Anyone observing the guardsmen leaving on patrols would be able to build timetables. Listen, I am not condemning her immediately, but this is something I need to follow through on.
They're barbarians. It wouldn't matter what order they arrived and slaughtered. We didn't have enough of a garrison that could have stopped.
That garrison was supposed to be enough to hold off any raiding party.
Well, good.
Barbarians are not supposed to be mounting full-scale assaults like this.
Yes,
something must have led them to do this.
I would assume whoever was in charge.
Can we give an official, confidence vote of her integrity, if that would help, or something?
I am taking that into account, as long as other statements she has made on the Stone of Truth. Again, this is not a condemnation, but this is something that I must follow through on.
I understand.
She's a drunk,
Can we visit her sometimes?
I will see about what can be done, okay?
Thank you.
I cannot promise anything, but I'm not out for her head. And so for Gemma, if a drunk set a building ablaze and killed a whole lot of people, would you think them blameless? Just because they were in a drunken stupor?
There's a difference.
Yes, there is a difference, but that is the difference I am now going to look into and investigate and see if she is innocent or not. I am not assuming her guilty. I am holding her for further questioning.
She does drink a lot.
She does drink a lot.
She did.
There's
drink that much.
You could have mentioned that would have made that attack any worse. Or
Did
any
I-
more likely.
Out here. Calm
You seem very
down.
certain of this.
We were an outpost, poorly staffed.
You were an outpost very well staffed. That is a substantial garrison, and you also had border walls. This is a very serious attack that we are very concerned about, as it should not have been able to happen. That I know, and that is why I want to find out every little bit of information from her I can.
It was a coordinated attack. It was a rush. And I've
Yes.
seen far, far worse odds get a hell of a lot more damage.
You have experience in these matters?
Yes.
When? If you'd please.
Let me see. It was how many years ago? That century. Probably about 200 years ago.
200 years ago. In what circumstance?
I was in the army.
Barosts?
I wasn't paying attention. Got me out of my home.
When were you dismissed from this?
I fell off a cliff.
Pretty sure I'm counted as dead.
He closes his eyes.
I'm gonna just slap my head like, oh my god.
So slowly but surely everyone's done.
So, you were missing in action and did not report yourself in?
They didn't come for me. I had a great fall.
He rubs his brow. 200 years. That is not my problem, but it would be somebody's. I'm going to pretend I didn't hear that. Please stop protesting this questioning of your companion. I know you will not believe this, but I have all of your best interests at heart.
We're just really worried about her. We've been through a lot.
If she is innocent, I will do everything in my power to make sure that that is seen and she is returned safely to you.
Could I have that said in the zone of truth?
Certainly, if you wish to accompany me, and then we will debrief you fully on your military endeavors.
I'm not sure you'd really like to hear that.
I very much doubt I would either.
Can I go in the whole thing with her? I don't mind. I don't want her to be alone.
How about a compromise? I will arrange you 5 minutes in which to speak to her.
Okay.
You are not. There will be someone watching you. You are not to try and build and collaborate on a story. Do you understand?
Mm-hmm.
Would that satisfy you, Forchammer?
Fine.
Alright. I'll be back soon.
Thank you.
Patience, please. And the door is closed rather harshly.
I don't think he's in as good of a mood anymore.
No, I don't think so either.
Augie. You hear the tromp 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 of footfalls coming down the hall, and the Shire Reeve comes to your cell. Miss Fowl? How do you pronounce your second name again?
Fall.
Fowl. Your companions want to speak to you. You have your the same whether you want to allow this or not.
May as well.
Okay. Please do not try and. He tries to think of a nice way to say it. Please do not try to collaborate on a story to mask the truth. It's in your best interest if this all just goes smoothly.
I understand.
Right. John, bring them in. You see John leave, and everyone else. The door is once again opened, and John's like, "If you'll follow me, I'll take you to your friend."
Okay.
I will follow.
And you're led through the keep deeper in to what looks like a small cell block. There's only about 6 cells in here, small ones. It's not actually a prison; it's just a holding area. And there's Archie in the cell, and the Shire Reeve is standing nearby, and he gestures. It's like 5 minutes.
Archie, we worried about you because you didn't come.
I kind of figured.
Is what he said true?
As far as I know.
Do you think you maybe might have slipped something?
I genuinely don't know.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
I know. You'd never do that on purpose. This is why we're working through your drinking problem.
Just drink more water.
He's been drinking too much water. He's had like 4 pitchers since you've been gone.
I'm only on the third, and I didn't drink the whole first one.
We'll be
Well,
here.
neither Cassiopeia nor I did.
Thought you did.
They're probably gonna reunite us with the other survivors. I guess my mom and my grandma might be okay. I'll come visit you as much as they'll let me.
Okay.
Sorry to laugh.
I'll look forward to it.
Maybe I can fix up your cell for you and stuff.
I'm gonna look around. Is she just in another room like what we were in?
That look up, I don't know.
No, this is actually a cell block.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm in a proper jail cell.
Gifted.
Yeah?
doesn't sound like if everything's fine, you could keep for that long.
Oh, is that not what they do? She's got no idea how this works.
The Shire Reeve is standing there looking annoyed that this like standard procedure has been disrupted so heavily.
Like, if everything's fine, I'm pretty sure he'll just release her to us like he said.
Archie's just gonna kind of look over briefly to her, Reeve, and make eye contact and just mouth, "I'm sorry."
He gives you a tired nod.
Are you still out of character? You're still riding around on Dingus.
Yes, I am riding on Dingus.
I'm gonna pick up Dingus and put him on my shoulder.
Okay.
He meeps at you. And then Gifton, you get the mental image of Dingus slipping through the bars, which are wide enough.
I know. And I'm going, no, Dingus, we'll get in trouble.
This is why I picked up Dingus.
He meeps longingly at Archie.
I know. We'll be waiting for you. I don't believe you did bad, but I know we're not supposed to talk about it. I believe in you. And I look over at the rest because I realize I'm like the only one talking.
Then I'll tell you what you can all do, the Shire Reeve says.
Hmm?
If you'd all like to pen a letter of confidence in Archie's
Moral character?
moral character, yes.
She
And
helped
how
out
you-
a lot and saved those kids.
He holds his hand up. I have gotten Henry's report, which will help vouch heavily for her.
Thank you.
But if you'd all like to do that, this would be a far better use of your time.
Okay. Valdir, can you help me write a letter?
Might not be the best person to ask. It's been a while.
Okay.
I'm gonna turn my head towards the person on my shoulder. I'll help you write one.
Okay, Archie, you're gonna get out of there soon because you're super not a bad person, and bad things don't happen to good people. So it's gonna be okay.
Start petting Dingus.
Right. Okay, wrap it up, please.
Okay.
Being fed and drink brought.
Yes, she will be well taken care of.
Right. Thank you, sir. I'm sorry we took up your time.
If anything happens to her that is untoward, I will.
Val,
hold
dear,
you
we shouldn't
responsible.
be
Archie just
threatening the nice
looks
man.
and is like, "Saldir, calm."
Shut it.
Kind dwarf. I'm sure my own men would hold me accountable if anything happened to her. The buck falls here with me.
Well, that'd be a first, but alright.
Kind.
There's a lot of sarcasm in his voice for that, by the way.
The kind part, I take it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
Right. Oh, woo. Sarcasm, I knew it was coming.
I like to think that that's actually the sound that she actually did that in character.
That's actually what Dingus does now.
oh, woo.
And he
Dingus for this time around.
Now, if you'd all be so kind, how have you led to the rest of the survivors that have made their way here?
Alright. Sorry
And,
for keeping you up so late, sir.
It's fine. You have had a far worse time of this than I have. Okay, John, take them to the rest. And John nods, salutes to the Shire Reeve, and he starts to lead you once again through the keep.
Out of character, because I'm suddenly like, did they take what we had when we came in?
They're going
Or, well,
Your
I mean, we
weapons were-
gave her weapons when we came into town.
I think our stuff's in our cart. Most
The
of
cart's
it.
outside.
We have our
If you guys have
backpacks.
backpacks such, they have not taken them from you.
Okay. I was curious if they'd. Okay.
As far as they're concerned, you have what meager supplies you have left that you've like desperately taken from your homes. They're not going to deny you that.
I should have asked
I'm
for
assuming
fire.
they're taking mine.
Yeah, yours are still in this room. They're just off by a table where like a couple of guardsmen are doing the stereotypical thing of playing cards, although they stopped as soon as the Shire Reeve arrived.
Like, I think there's like one card fell under the table.
And they're just like there's one guardsman's
One's
foot's like
just-
covering it.
Yeah.
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 freaking Hogan's Heroes.
And you are led to another room, further away from where you were previously held. And by that, it's next door. But it
Mr.
looks
Two.
like, judging by how the door's set in and how long the walls are, it's a far larger room before you even get in.
This must be unsettling for Gifted.
Yes. It's in such a big
So
room.
far away, such a large room.
The door is opened, and you are gestured inside.
Okay, I'm going in.
Okay. There's a little bit of candlelight, but it's very late, and most of the people in here are asleep. Do any of you wish to try and see who's in here?
I do.
It's dark. It'd take a little bit of noticing.
How big does it roughly look?
This looks like, a small church's central hall.
Is it dark enough
Okay.
that I have disadvantage?
It is. Do you have dark vision?
No, I don't.
No, you are fine then. Anyone with dark vision may take a look around as normal. It's just you will have to try and identify people either by the back of their heads or go around their bed cots.
So it's just looking around the room we're in?
Yep.
Yeah, in that case, I guess I'll do a perception.
Look around.
Which you can sort of do as you walk through
Yeah.
the centre of it to find beds and such.
Seems
Sam.
to be at something.
Sam, you and I are looking the same.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Anyone else? Only Cassiopeia.
Yeah,
I suppose.
that's literally the one other person.
Do
you
wanna
want to roll perception?
Let's see if we can recognize people here.
Why isn't it not rolling?
The only reason I'm making rolls because some have covers pulled up, some have
Yeah.
No, I've clicked the
Yeah.
button a couple times and. Give me a second. Let me close this.
Did you see everybody else's?
Actually,
Yeah.
what's everybody's passive?
Oh, 14.
14, so I only get a +1.
I think everyone's above 10, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay,
I think
then,
that's the
then,
minimum you can
11
have.
is
yeah,
mine.
then no worries about the rolls. Then never mind that. Okay, so in here you can see the Sinclair family.
the
Mother,
Sinclair boy?
father, son. With the Sinclair boy.
Did he shoot himself in the foot again?
Only with his words.
You see a couple of others that don't really have names, but there's a couple of other Tarnstead survivors. One of which, actually, Lana Moore, character, you recognise her as one of the young girls that used to sort of make eyes at you in the tavern. She's
Worried that one.
She seems to be on her own, no family.
Is Miss Thornberry here?
So she is not here, unfortunately, nor is your mother. However, Gifton, you do see beside one of the cots, actually a table set up with a little bed on it. You see Becare's son, Care Greysteel.
Care!
What?
The night in
And
the middle of the night.
and you see him stir and sort of sit up, blinking in the darkness.
Care!
Gifton?
Care!
Gifton!
Care!
Oh my god! And
He just slams on table.
I'm saying I'm bracing to have Dingus fly off.
Yeah, Dingus is probably gonna flop on the table, and I'm just gonna jump out of the saddle and
there's the kafunk,
yeah.
which starts to make everyone else wake up. By the way,
Yeah, and then I'm basically gonna slip out of the saddle and just just rush over and just hug Care and do that thing of that reunited with your bestest best friend ever.
He hugs you tight as well, and he's like, "Oh my god, you're alive!"
Oh my god, I thought you died, or I didn't know what happened. Everybody got separated, and I thought you were in the woods forever, and I'd never see you again.
No. We got out. Me, your mother, and your grandma.
Oh, did anybody else
we-
make it?
None of us that I saw, but he gestures over it where the Sinclair's father's sleeping. It's like we ended up just revealing ourselves, and they helped us get out.
Oh, And she jerks her head back at the people standing around with her, and she goes, I helped these guys get out. After my dad died in the Goliath, and it was bad. There was a. She looks like she's like just completely like not sure what to say, and she's just like, but it's been just awful.
Care gives a respectful nod to all of you. Has got that tinge of like, she said she helped you out, but thank you for helping her get out.
I have another character question.
I know better.
Is there, since we're looking around the room and stuff, is there guards in the room?
No.
Okay, so it's just the survivors.
They are guessing they are not being held.
I was more seeing if maybe they were under protection. Just
no.
Being sometimes refugees are not always the.
Also, thank you for giving me the sword. I had to use it. It was scary.
You had to use it?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so sorry, Gifton.
No, it's fine. I'm actually pretty good at it.
Is this like a human-sized table?
Yes.
Set up on top. So I'm going to sit next to it. I'm going to start petting Dingus.
This is Carrick. He used to work at the tavern. Remember Carrick?
Yeah, I've seen you before.
Yeah. That's Cassiopeia. Wow. That's Thaldir, and I would introduce Sargi and.
At the mention of Cassiopeia, you see the Sinclair father sit up. And we're going to call him Thomas. Yeah.
Again, with my friends, this is Carrick. He's like the best brownie forge master you'd ever know. She just kind of like hugs him tight.
And this is Dingus.
Yes, this is Dingus. He's my new dragon knight. We're dragon knights now, and this is my dragon.
Swear it's a freaking Muppet.
Hey, if we were going to make this into a TV show, I would demand Jim Henson level of effort.
And Cassiopeia, you can see Thomas Sinclair. He's giving you a little bit of a pained look.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Cassie.
Mm-hmm.
You've all been talked to, right?
Mm-hmm.
Did the Shire tell you about Ind?
Mm-mm.
He's the reason we managed to make it out.
Oh. The Shire Reeve didn't say anything. He just, when he was, she's looking for the word, interviewing me.
Yeah.
He asked me what a member of my mercenary company was doing there. She kind of smiles, that weird, I really don't want to say this, but I am.
I'm going to give Cass the look. Where she probably can't see because she has dark vision.
Where's End at?
Yeah, he just asked, when I mentioned that I had apprenticed under End, he kind of gave me this weird look.
Well, Ind didn't make it.
Oh no,
sorry, what's your name, little miss?
I'm Gifton.
Gifton. Yeah, he didn't. Yeah.
Cass,
we were fleeing.
Be okay?
You would have been proud of him, Cass.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure. Yeah, we were running from the village, like most were. But there were a couple of Goliaths on horseback chasing us. And then he comes screaming out of the woods. No shirt, couple of axes, just singing.
I don't care. I'm just imagining this, and oh god, I'm expecting it to be like J-pop.
He was singing one of those dwarven chants, and just shouting about seeing his boy again as he cut into him, and he's the reason we even got away.
I'm going to quietly be giving somebody else a hand squeeze during this, because I know his father didn't make it out, probably. Actually, I didn't see him fall, but I saw him fighting.
Did N at least get one of them?
We heard him singing for quite a while, so I think so.
He might have gotten a lot of them then.
The captain said he used to be quite one of the used to be part of the military himself. And, well, I guess that never leaves you, right?
Cass starts actually digging through her bag and pulls out a ring that jingles.
He cared about you, you know.
Yeah, that's why he gave me these. And she's holding up the keys to the store.
Yeah, he could be gruff, but he wouldn't have trusted you, anyone with those, so...
I was so confused because I thought a ring like the ring on your finger.
Like, if you'd like to, you should have put a ring on it.
I was more concerned by the jingling of the ring. Like,
Thomas stands up from his bed and he comes over and he sort of like, squeezes your forearm. He's like, I'm sorry about him.
Well, it was end. He really didn't say much, and, well, I honestly think that town meant everything to him, so him protecting everyone was just his way of trying to give back.
Oh, yeah, it was him coming out of the bushes was nearly more of a surprise than the actual attack, he says, with sort of a dry, humorless smile.
I could see it. I could see it. I mean, I don't know why, but I just have this funny image of Ind coming screaming out of those woods with a mohawk.
Actually, Augie's not here, so just Valdia. Valdia. I was like, I split the group. Never mind. Valdia.
Yes, DM things. Yep.
Give me a very easy intelligence check, please.
Well, I should hope.
You were in that town as long as Ind was, so give me that roll at advantage.
Oh, thank God! It's so gonna work out well.
Okay, it was DC 5. When I said very easy, I meant it. So, but I figured I'll give you the advantage because Jesus
it is
Christ.
a -1.
Okay, this is a struggle for even you to remember because this was very, very long ago,
and I don't pay that much attention. Got it.
Yeah, but you had happened to have found yourself in town one day. Maybe you just really fancied some alcohol and you'd run out. But whatever reason, you found yourself in the company of another dwarf, who, like you, was very old, and you found a little bit of a common ground while drinking. He, like you, had served in the military for a long time, and he, like you, had lost somebody. Only for him, it was his son. And he was certain he could have prevented his death. And that apparently tore at him. It also ruined his life afterwards. It ruined his marriage. He ended up leaving his home and just coming to find somewhere else just to try and exist. So the story may have resonated with you a little bit. But he'd always regretted what he viewed to himself as a cowardice that had cost him his son's life.
Fitting. I can't say that.
Wow. Way to kill the mood, Ali. Jesus.
Yeah.
I'm not in the room.
And now we can cut back to her. No.
Care squeezes your hand, Gifton. He's like, have you seen your mum and grandma yet?
No, are they here?
They're in these little medical ward here. Your grandma, she's not doing great, Gifton.
Oh.
They're making her comfortable though.
Okay.
Why don't do you want me to take you there?
Yeah. Here, I don't know, I will push him up onto the saddle.
He looks very uncertain about this.
All right, and I'm gonna get up behind him, and I'm gonna like, okay, so we'll just that way.
Okay, so in a strong embrace of Gifton, Care is glided off on Dingus's back. And you see them hop out of the room with a graceful little hop, 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 as Dingus doesn't seem to be gliding right now.
Yep. It's because Dingus is going, oh, I have 2 passengers for a change.
Carrick, Lana, the girl, while she's woken up, she does not seem to be taking part in any conversation. She's just sort of staying sullen in her bed. And Faldit, the Sinclair boy, he gives you a little wave because you helped him.
Does he appear to have both feet?
He has both feet. At least you see the shapes of feet under the bedding. One of them might be fake. You don't know.
Does he have his arms?
He does.
Aww.
That should be had,
but he does actually have a what looks to be. It's still fresh, but it's starting to heal and scar over a real gash across his cheek.
Took a war wound or two, eh, boy?
Yeah. They were shooting at us. More arrows, he says with a wry, pained look.
Not gonna become a hunter when you're older, then.
I don't know. Maybe my luck will turn around. No more arrows for me. I might be safe.
That'd be a nice life.
And you get a little time to just catch up with your fellow town members, but it is very late. And I imagine you're all pretty tired as well, despite the brief naps people tried to catch.
Yeah.
But the Sinclair parents will actually get up and try and help set up, some of the cots properly for you. And Gifton, the care directs you and Lustingus towards the medical wards. A couple of patrolling guards let out a "what the hell" as you bound by on Dingus. But
yeah.
After a bit of squinting, they recognise Baker's kid at least.
Yeah.
And you soon find yourself in it's a small. It's not even a hospital ward, but it's a room set up for a doctor. There's a few medical beds in here, and a very small setup on one of the beds. You can see your grandmother lying in it, and your mother sort of asleep next to her, just sort of leaning on the bedding she's on.
Okay. I'm gonna direct Dingus to kind of let us off, close by, but try to be gentle, kind of thing.
Dingus moves very slowly. He doesn't have 4 legs. He has wings, so they're just sort of like slowly sashaying forward. He's trying to step softly, and instead of bounding up, he just sort of like leans upwards to try and give you room to climb him onto the bed.
Yeah, we'll climb him up onto the bed.
Yeah.
And I'll say thank you, and then I'm gonna go over to my grandmother and my mother.
Yeah. She's. Are you being quiet about it?
Yeah, I'm being quiet. I'm not.
Okay.
Not making a ruckus.
They are both sleeping as you approach.
Okay. I will kind of sit down beside my mother and wrap an arm around her and give her a gentle squeeze.
And you can feel her stirring as she. Hang on, let me open up my notes. That would be helpful.
Yeah.
You hear her go, "Scout,"
No,
before she stirs fully.
No, Mom.
Gifton.
Shh, I'm right here. I'm here.
Oh my god, darling, you're alive.
I'm just so glad you're okay.
And she holds you tightly against her.
I'm gonna hug her. Just kind of like hold back some tears.
Oh my god, darling, how you made it? I thought you'd. How did you get out?
I went out with some other people. and I helped them out, and I couldn't find you guys, so I just figured if we went to where the survivors were, maybe you guys would be there, or maybe you guys were okay and you were with the draw lights. I didn't know.
Oh, honey, I'm so sorry.
I know. I saw.
Was you okay? And she actually takes hold of your arms and sort of like leans you back a bit as she starts to look you over.
Yeah. I'm fine. I'm really good, Mom. I've been doing really good. I'm a Dragon Knight now.
A Dragon Knight?
Yeah. I'll introduce you to him in a bit.
Meep.
How's Grandma?
She's and you can see now her breathing's laboured, even as she's sleeping. The fire and smoke and the cold after. She clenches her eyes shut. I don't think she has long.
Is she sick, or is she?
She's very sick, darling.
I mean, maybe I can help.
Darling, I know you want to help, but they've got doctors and everything, and they don't know.
Magic time!
Magic time. At least I have to try.
You can try, but she hasn't even woken up in days.
Okay. I'm gonna kind of tentatively reach for my grandma's hand.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll take it between my hands, and I'll stroke it for a minute, and then I'll kind of close my eyes and concentrate. And I'm gonna pour every bit of lay on hands I got.
Okay.
It's like 15.
So this is glow of this fey energy that courses into your grandmother.
Mm-hmm.
And you hear her take a deep breath in, and her eyes flutter open.
Grandma?
Hello, sweetie. Oh.
You okay? Mom, Grandma's awake.
And your mother, her eyes are wide, just in happiness at see her awaken and in shock of what you're doing.
Yeah.
And you see your grandmother still weakly raise her other arm and bring it across to settle over your hand.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, sweetie, hello.
Hi. I'm sorry I wasn't there in time, Grandma.
I'm just so glad to see you're okay, my little flower.
You're gonna be okay. You just need to rest, okay? Just get better. We brought a really good doctor with us, and he can help.
She closes her eyes briefly and goes, "Oh, darling, everything ends sometime. I'm so glad for every day you spent with me. I'm sorry it was so confining for you."
It's fine. I mean, that's just how it is. I mean, we had to stay safe, right?
She shakes her head and just goes, "No, you always had so much ritter in you. You should have been out there."
I made so many new friends, Grandma. I want you to meet them.
New friends?
Yeah. I made friends with Carrick, the tavern boy, and the centaur girl, Cassiopeia. And the grouchy old dwarf who used to go fix his plants. I've been going around with all of them, and Corvus, and Archie, the drunk. I mean, she's really nice. And we went on we saved some kids from the woods that were taken away, that got kidnapped, and we chased off bears, and we had wolves chase us, and bandits, and we went on all sorts of crazy things, Grandma.
Oh,
I want to tell you all my stories.
Having adventures.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't want to hear them. And you can see her struggling to breathe more. And she weakly squeezes your hand. You promised me one thing, darling.
Hmm?
You continue to have that. You continue to have those adventures. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're like Ritter. You need to see the world. You need to do things.
Yeah, Grandma.
So, times with your grandma wasn't too bad, right?
It was the best.
Okay. And she pats your hand. Right, you're going to tell me those stories, even if I'm not here. I'll hear them, okay, darling?
Just like when I was growing up, I'll tell you stories every night.
She nods. I'm so proud of you. And you see her breathing start to slow. And she sort of looks past you. And a wide smile, very youthful, crosses her face. And she just goes, "Oh, Ritter." And then the light leaves her eyes. And her breathing stops.
Gifton closes her eyes as the tears just start coming.
Your mother holds you tightly to her as she too starts to cry.
Mm-hmm.
And Claire just lowers his head solemnly off to the side.
Does the body dissipate?
The body slowly starts to fade as this is something that happens to the older Fae, not the more recent generations who tend to be buried.
Mm-hmm.
But her body fades away into glimmers of light
Mm-hmm.
that float off and with little winks vanish themselves.
She leans into her mom and just cries for a while.
Yeah. After a little while, you feel Dingus's form landing on the bed and a wing wrapping around you. There's a concerned nuzzling.
I'm sorry, Dingus. I wanted her to meet you. But we'll tell her stories about you every night, okay?
Dingus bobs his head.
And she's gonna hug Dingus a bit.
Right. So, you spend time mourning with your mother. Do you want to spend the night there, or do you want to return to the others?
I'll stay there.
You'll stay there with her.
I will ask Care to take Dingus back and let them know.
Yes, I will. And he actually leans down and gives you a tight hug.
Yeah, and I'll hug him back.
Come on, boy. And he looks to Dingus, but then just sort of hops down from the bed and beckons Dingus to follow him.
Don't worry, Dingus will hassle him until he gets on the saddle. I'm certain of
it. Everyone else, have you all settled into bed?
Cassiopeia was pretty much out shortly after they told her about End.
Okay. Well, if anyone is actually still awake, they see Dingus sort of coming in with Care on his neck, but Dingus's head is just stooped low to the ground, and Care is still tiptoeing along. No, I don't want to ride. I can't ride. And Yeah, I think it's trying to get him to get up, but Care is intimidated by this.
All right then.
Argy, going back in time a little bit for when your companions left you.
We
Are you there?
didn't leave her. We just went elsewhere.
Abandoned you to your solitude.
Correct. There you go.
Left
You
to
there,
your
Augie?
fate.
You're muted, by the way.
Yeah, I realize. Thanks.
Nice. Okay. The Shire Reeve, he comes to the front of your cell and sighs and goes, "Okay, listen. I need to go through this procedure, okay? I don't really know how I'd be able to prove your innocence or your guilt. Your statement under some truth that you would do nothing to the town, that helps a lot. Is there anything else you can give me?"
So on the map, their camp was. I had been there a couple times. I know the recipes that they gave me and that I gave them. Most of the time I was there, they were already drinking, and honestly, I'd fought a couple of them on and off. They found it amusing. I tried to keep up with them.
He nods and
I'll be totally honest. Don't know
It's
what
not-
else. Maybe.
it's not an unusual position to be in trading with those tribes. Again,
Information left over from my dad and the person that he bought the brewery from before that.
your parents, you said they died,
Yeah, in the previous attack.
so you'd have every reason to hate the Goliaths.
Mm-hmm.
And I imagine in trading, you were trying to make sure peace was kept. Good communication.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I always told them just exactly what I wanted out of it, and nothing information-wise. You know, like that. It was, this is this recipe, this is mine. Here you go.
Now, you said that it's a possibility you may have given away information. However, you are not certain of this. In fact, perhaps you are quite sure you didn't, but you are mentioning it for the possibility.
Yeah.
That's correct, right?
Yes.
Right. I'm going to take you back to that room for questioning.
Okay.
This is what I need you to state once more. That you are mentioning that for the possibility of it happening, but you are fairly certain
Okay.
that did not occur. And in fact, you think you may have helped the attack just through peaceful negotiation.
Argy nods.
Right. I'll be back with you in a moment. And you see him leave.
Call I apologize again for the dwarf.
He's looking out for you. That speaks wonders of your innocence to me. And you actually see him just stop outside the door, and he's talking to somebody outside. Trying to be hushed tones, but you can roll a perception check if you wish.
Unfortunately, it's the main antagonist of the entire campaign.
What's your passive?
15.
Roll 20. Okay, 14. You can catch brief things. He is addressing Maris, the mage. And he is saying something along the lines, "Some of the truth will be on record, but you are not to cast it, understand?" And you hear a murmur of affirmation. And then he comes in to get you. Right, come with me.
Argy stands up, does what? Probably from being in cells a couple times, the standard thing of standing away from the door while he's opening it, and then moving forward after.
Yeah, And once he's opened the door, he beckons you out in front of him.
He walks out in front.
And you are led out and are walked back to the room by both the Shire Eve and the mage you'd seen in there.
Mm-hmm.
And once in, he sits down at the chair, motions for you to sit opposite him.
Like he sits.
Right. Argyfal, do you consent to speak under a stone of truth?
I do.
Good. Maris, you can confirm that a stone of truth has been cast, and Maris just nods, doing nothing. Good. Argyfal,
Mm-hmm.
in your trading with the Goliaths, do you believe that you let out secrets that would endanger Tarnstead?
I do not, but I cannot rule out the possibility.
Okay. Do you have the full interest of Tarnstead and its future in mind at all times that you were trading with the Goliaths?
Absolutely. I do not want anything harmful to come to anyone who lives in that.
Would you do anything to secure the futures of those that have survived Tarnstead?
I would do anything within my power.
Marvellous. Argyfal, I am happy to see you as innocent in all matters relating to Tarnstead, but I would ask something of you in return.
Mm-hmm.
The King's army is planning to mount a expedition back into Goliath lands. It is also in the interest of the army to have adventuring bands joining them in this effort, to act as independent groups to scout off in different directions and perhaps take hold of certain lands. You are not being forced into this endeavour, but I would ask you to seriously consider, judging by what you have been able to do with your companions as you have travelled here, he says, motioning to the letter that you recognise as Penry's.
Mm-hmm.
Seriously consider joining the Adventurers Guild and signing up to help with these matters. I'd appreciate it if you talk to your companions about this and get their feelings on the matter as well. Urge them, if you would.
Arjun nods and goes, at the very least, I will talk to them about it, and if they do not, I will.
Alright. If you decide not to do this endeavour, you will be treated as the rest of the survivors are. You will either be offered a small stipend to help you get your lives back on track, or you will all be sent off to a newly formed town in the central region of this continent. The choice will be yours.
Arjun nods. Okay.
Right. He puts the pen down, taps the desk for a moment, and goes, "You really didn't see anything else that night?"
I saw the same thing that they must have for the giant Goliath on the horse.
Yes.
Honestly, my parents and Argy kind of sighs and goes, my parents had always taught me that from a young age, they taught me how to get out of town, gather things, and get going quick. They always said they were on the run from something. God knows what, they never told me whenever I was growing up. And they told me they'd tell me when I came of age, and they died 30 years before that could become a reality.
Well, sounds like you have a complicated life. However, might I advise you cut back on the drinking a little bit?
I've been trying.
Good. Right. I don't need your decision immediately. You'll have a month or so to consider it. It takes time to muster up forces. You and yours will be given a location to stay in the city. I asked that you stay here until given dispensation to leave, you at least.
Okay.
Your other companion, Mr. Adlas, will join you in a couple of days' time. We have serious matters to talk to him about.
Mm-hmm. From what I remember, he was in the army, yes?
He is one of our enlisted, yes. It's not unusual in your group, but Mr. Forthammer is not of concern right now. Right, you are free to rejoin your companions. Maris, would you mind leading the way? Maris nods and he goes,
Do you mind if
yes,
I pick
Val?
up my bag from the other room?
I'll have a guard bring it to you instead.
Thank you.
Right. Good night, Miss Fowl.
Good
Please
night
do not
to you
let me
as well.
down.
I'll try my best. Be a
Right.
first 70 years.
He nods at you, and Maris gestures in front of him, no longer sort of escorting you as a prisoner, just like, please, this way.
Mm-hmm.
And he leads you
Go
to the
on.
same room the others were led to. But I
Actually,
think by this
come in.
time everyone is
Yeah.
asleep.
She'll just calmly come in, sit her bag down, sit down, and start to trance.
Okay. Yeah, your stuff is brought to you shortly after, and you're able to pass the night away. Okay. Morning is brought in by the sound of a bell ringing. Not an alarm bell, just a, hey, guardsman, get the fuck up, your shift is on.
Bong, bong, bong.
Yeah.
Would have been hilarious. No, we just got attacked by Goliath. Well,
Is this regular like wake time?
It might be a little early in your guys' consideration, but not by too much.
Okay.
This is about 6 a.m. or so.
Gonna get up.
You guys have only had a few hours sleep by now.
Look around. Look around. I'm gonna sleep more.
Okay.
Goes back to sleep.
Cassiopeia is actually going to get up and watch.
Hammer
Is anyone
and
else getting up?
sawing ensue.
Everyone else is awakened to the bang, bang.
just think, Sam. If Cassie does it often enough, it'll be the only thing you can fall asleep to.
Gifton, you are actually nudged awake very gently by what looks like a garrison doctor.
Oh.
Miss, where's the patient?
She passed away last night.
She passed away. Okay, I'm very sorry, but where is she?
This is very hard to explain. When we die, we fade away. And she's gonna rifle through. She's gonna rifle through the bed and pull out the clothes. I'm assuming you're still there.
Yeah.
And she goes. She there's the old ones leave nothing.
Okay, he says, looking a little exasperated. Not personally invested in this, just like, how the fuck do I write this up?
It's only with the really, really old ones. Our younger generations don't do that. We get buried.
Okay. And you
But don't worry, if I die...
There's a corpse! I can write that down on record for you. Or
please do. Yes.
Yeah.
She expired and evaporated.
Were you related? He says, not wanting to be racist and assume.
It is my grandmother. Yes.
Your grandmother. Okay. You or your mother, if you would please. I'll
go. She's
passed out still on the bed.
She's still sleeping. I'll come with you.
Okay. He just motions across to the room where he's got a little desk.
Yeah. Well,
do you need help or?
I don't mind. You want to pick me up? That's fine.
Okay. He holds his hand out for you nervously.
I'll sit. No, it's okay. I'm not delicate.
Yeah. Okay. He says, walking very slowly and steadily, before lowering his hand down very slowly.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you for.
Oh, quills.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I tried, but your kind is not.
It's okay.
Quill, I don't have a small. He grabs one of his quills and grabs a scalpel and starts trying to
cut it in half or something. Yeah.
Cut it in half and then shorten it further.
And then I go, wait, and I'm just gonna pull one of my arrows out, right? And I'll use this.
Okay, yes, sure. And
I'll just double ink it. I'll dab it extra.
He sets an ink pot down beside you.
Yeah.
And a huge sheet of paper.
Yeah, I'm
Everybody's
basically
fall
gonna do the
asleep
feathered
holding it.
end because I figure that's probably the better side.
Yeah,
So I'll do the feathered end and
paintbrush it.
yeah, and I'll do it big. Like each
Yeah.
each letter's got to be at least as tall as me, basically. You
Yeah.
know, nice and big, and I'll write real slow.
Okay.
Oh, sweet. It's like school Japanese
Yeah.
writing.
If you could write that as a family member, you have witnessed the proper disposal of your grandmother's remains. He says,
Yes.
cringing a little as he tells you this.
I will explain it so you will understand it. And I
Thank
will
you.
basically write that her essence returned to the Fae, leaving no body as is normal for our old ones.
He scratches his head, looking at this, shaking. Right, thank you, Miss Rodgren.
Yes. We yeah.
I'm very sorry for your loss. He says, somehow lacking no bedside evil manners.
Yeah.
He's the fucking army medic. He's
He's been trying to figure out what to do with this. This
Yeah.
has been the weirdest thing. He's been like, she's got respiratory issues, but I can't fix that with something like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. I fear if I try to do something to her lungs, she would explode.
It may cause a bad catastrophic reaction. Yeah, she's gonna write everything out as much as she can. She's trying to be helpful about it, and she understands they don't understand, so she's detailing out that they return to the Fae if they're older ones. If they are younger, there is usually a body. But in this case, her grandmother was
Very
several thousand years old, and one of the older ones.
Back to being the oldest in the game.
I'll give you some time to collect yourself and your mother.
Yeah. We'll try to get out of your space. I understand this is your area.
He nods slightly. Take your time.
Yeah, that's all night
what
table with the
was your
space
name,
must be
sir?
really important.
Shit. That's okay. I just pressed this button here.
That's a random name.
Miller, Nicholas Miller.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Miller. I'm writing down your name right now. Ha ha ha.
You're welcome.
Alright, and then
he's-
I will kind of like sit there holding the arrow. Go. This is kind of inky, and I don't want to keep it. Is there someplace I can?
He nudges this little what you suspect might be iron bucket out from under his desk.
I make a face. Ooh, iron. Yeah, I'll drop it in there.
Yeah.
It was your new banner, Sam. You had to ride into battle with it.
No, I don't like that. Yeah.
Right. And he gets up and he sort of heads further across the room to just like idly mess about with stuff as if like I'm not paying attention.
Yeah, I'm just gonna sit on the desk for a while. I'm not trying to cause me trouble.
Do you need me to?
Yeah, that would
You
be helpful.
I'm so sorry. Okay. He holds his hand out again with that look of I hate this.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
No worries. And he takes you back over to the bed.
Yeah. And then I'll wait a little bit before I wake my mom up.
Yeah. So you wait a little, and but eventually, you can see him looking at you like, I need this room. This is my room.
Yeah, but I'm giving her a little bit more time before
Yeah.
I wake her up, and then I will start waking her up.
Yeah.
Mom, we should probably let them have the room.
Oh yes, of course, dear. She rubs her eyes.
I will during that time have kind of cleaned things up. I will have bagged up my grandmother's clothes and done the thing. So that way my mom won't have to do it.
Yeah. She looks at where your grandmother was, and you can see this little pained look on her face. Before she tiredly smiles at you. It's like, I suppose we should get out of here then.
Yeah, let's go. And then I'll start climbing down off the side of the bed, and then
She will join you down.
and then we'll go pitter down the road, the hallways. Do you know the way? Because I actually wasn't paying attention.
Yes, I know the way. I've been back and forth a few times.
2 days later.
Yeah, she sort of hugs to the wall, like she seems anxious about the openness of all this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and Gifton's walking a little bit more upright about herself.
So, what are you? She sort of like rings her fingers together anxiously. You said you'd been doing stuff with friends?
Yeah, I made friends with a bunch of the people I escaped from Tarnstead with. I didn't know if I'd ever get to see anybody else again. You know?
Yeah, I know.
And so we've been doing stuff. Been to the Fae.
You went to the Fae.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw I think it was a ghost, but I don't
Ghost?
but I don't know. She was blue and she was really pretty and she had these wings that were all messed up. And her name was she looks like she's really struggling to remember the name.
Your mother looks very, very hesitant, and then she goes, "Tanya."
Titania, yeah, Titania. The dryad said we were Titania's filth. Titania's filth, but she said she was Titania, and she.
Down the hall, you don't mention the dryad ever again.
But
your mother nods
Oh
slowly.
yeah, we murdered Dryad and carved out its heart.
But the bad things in the Fae tried to hurt my friends, and they were taking children from Southwestheim. That was the city we went to.
You went to Southwestheim?
Yeah, we got chased by wolves, and
That's so far.
I know it was forever, Mom. But we got chased by wolves, and there was Goliaths behind us, and we just had to keep running, and we couldn't go north. And
She looks a little pale.
Luckily, we didn't spend much time there.
But we ran over everything, and then when we got to Southwestheim, they had this thing where some of the kids had gotten stolen away, and we found out there were these satyrs that were coming out of the woods and luring the kids away, and I told them that I was a very big important fae, and that they had to be nice, and we would trade them wine for the kids back, and we did that, but then they figured out I wasn't what I said I was, because I don't know how they figured that out, but they figured it out, and then they got really mad. And then this blue fairy lady, she kind of appeared, and she was like, "Do you trust your friends, and do you trust yourself, and will you protect them, and will you take care of them, and will you do?" And then she made me say a bunch of words, and then stuff happened.
She's paused, and she's just sort of leaning against the wall. So, oh, mother was right. You really are like my father.
She never said this about Grandpa.
So, your father asked your grandmother to try and not tell so many stories about certain things, because he was worried about filling your head with fantasy that would set you off on an adventure.
I didn't mean to do it. It happened.
No, I know, darling. Oh, yeah, okay.
She said she needed me to stop the war against the Fae, or I didn't really understand it.
So, I don't know everything myself, but your grandmother, she liked to tell stories.
She had the best
And
stories.
she told me plenty when I was little. Tanya was the great Fae, the elder Fae.
Yeah.
The biggest Fae.
Yeah, the big ones.
She was ours.
We had one?
We had one long ago. And she and another great Fae were very, very in love. And she did something to upset him. And as a result, she was killed, apparently. And all of her things were cast out. Us included.
I thought It was because of the story about the farmer and all that. It's not that?
It's complicated, dear. She liked the mortals a little too much.
They're really
And
nice people.
they are very nice people. And we stood with her. Because I like the mortals as well. And I guess those before me liked the mortals. But you you know how some of the older Fae, the brownies, they're a little more intense
Yeah.
in what they feel.
Yeah.
Well, the great Fae are even more like that, and
She makes a face.
Oberon was very, very jealous that she could even have any feelings for something else other than him.
Oberon?
Her lover,
Okay.
another of the great Fae.
Okay.
But you shouldn't have been able to see anything to do with her. She's gone.
I don't know why. It happened. It's like when I went to go get Grandma. You know that old bow?
Yeah.
The one that I don't know anything about it, but that old bow that was hanging on the mantle.
It was your grandfather's and his father's before him, and back to the earliest of our kind.
It's like it was calling to me, and I had to take it with me, and it's just felt right ever since. And then I could see the borders between this world and the Fae, and it was really weird.
She looked very upset to hear all this. So you made a pact to deal with this thing?
No, I didn't make any pacts. I
Then
just swore to protect my friends.
But you swore it to something in there.
But it's my friends, and I'd protect them.
You are a wonderful girl, she says sadly, and she actually pulls you into a hug as if like trying to hold you protectively.
Mhm.
Okay, well, your friends are here?
Yeah, my friends are here. You should meet them. They're really lovely.
I'd love to meet them.
Alright, well, let's see.
Carry on the long journey down the hallway.
3 hours later, when we get to the
Yeah,
room.
yeah. So quite a while later, you've gotten some extra time to sleep in. Oh no, the door's closed. Okay, Sam, you're gonna have to go under the door jam.
Yeah, that's fine because we're here. We can go under the door jam.
Yeah, so that doesn't wake anybody up.
Yep. I'm pretty sure me showing up will wake Dingus up though.
Yeah.
Probably suddenly
no,
somebody
Dingus
gets
is fast asleep as well.
Yeah.
However, the other survivors are awake because they're not on a horrendous schedule like you guys.
Yeah.
And
how long would we have been in there total?
Let's see. About 4 hours or so.
So I would be conscious.
Yeah, you could be basically rousing yourself from your trance now.
Mm-hmm.
And as you rouse yourself, you see Gifton starting slipping under the door with another brownie, and you see the Sinclair father sort of nudging Faudia awake.
I'll just look over and go, let him.
All right. Okay, he said.
He just looks like he's angry and no one doesn't.
All right.
He's not himself when he's hungry.
Have a Snickers. Right. Artie's awake.
Yep, I'll wave at RG and I'll lead my mom over there.
Yep. So RG, you see a brownie that it's a little hard to judge at the scale, but you think she looks quite a bit like Gifton, older, but
more mature looking.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
He probably actually gives the comparison that Gifton is at the base of the species.
Gifton, your mother leans in towards you and just goes, "The tipsy one."
Yeah, well, she's not drinking now. We were working on that. RG, this is my mom. Mom, this is RG. Oh wait, I guess you're not mom, are you? This is my mom, buddy. This is my mom, buddy, yeah. and this is RG Thal.
Nice to meet you, RG.
We brewed wine to save children together, didn't we, RG?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Wine to save children.
Yeah, it was the satyrs. I told you about the satyrs.
Oh yes.
Yeah, the satyrs. Is everybody else asleep?
For now, yeah, we got them pretty late.
Oh.
I would simulate snoring, but I can't trust myself to do that right now. Thank you, Blackie.
You're welcome.
Dingus,
I'm entirely sure it's
Dingus, come here,
simulated.
boy. Dingus, come
God, please don't let Dingus be sleeping on top of
here.
me.
I hope Dingus is sleeping on top of Carrick.
I hope
And
he is.
Carrick, you feel claws and wings scrabbling across your body, and your blanket's being trundled about because he was curled up with you.
You're beeping right in your ear.
Dingus, we do it.
All we see is this meeping ball of covers going bounding across the room.
There are covers that were like trailing off of one of his hind legs as he leaps across to you, and you get a big nuzzling from Dingus.
I hug Dingus's head. Mom, this is Dingus. Dingus, this is my mom, buddy. Dingus and me are dragon knights together. He's the dragon.
Dingus puffs his head, his chest out, and you imagine your mother's actually getting some flashes in her mind based on her expression.
Yeah.
Like, you ride him.
Yeah, he's really fast. And he's super smart, and he's amazingly brave.
Dingus looks so proud, and she nervously sort of reaches her hand out as if like to try and pet his muzzle.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, it's nice to meet you, Dingus.
He likes potatoes.
There may have.
It's the pretty boy from the tavern. That's Carrick, and
There may have been a couple cursing.
Oh, the Heartbreaker.
words
yeah, the Heartbreaker.
That there may have been a couple curse words there that only Dingus understands. But they probably weren't curse words to Dingus because the whole Shellis
do you mean,
thing was
female
you
dog?
get
What does the son of a female dog have to do with this? I don't understand.
get him corks for nighttime for his claws.
Morning,
They
Carrick.
hurt.
I'm gonna motion over at
Tired.
Cassiopeia, who's probably still dead asleep, or is she awake?
Dead asleep.
Cassiopeia, they basically took blankets from other cots
They
last
just
night
drape them
and have
around.
made a big floor pile for you.
Just be glad that none of the children were able to stay underneath you in the blanket fort.
Yeah, the blanket fort that ensued. I'm gonna make sure that's Cassiopeia. I'll introduce her when she's awake, and Thaldir, and we also have. You remember the doctor?
Yes, the one that took the arrow out, and she actually looks over at where the Sinclair boy is.
Yeah, the Sinclair boy had the arrow removed from his foot, and that
Is that all what everyone's gonna remember about me?
I was telling everybody we
No.
should fix your shoes and do nice things for you to make you feel better before everything happens.
I nearly lost my foot to frostbite.
Just wait. I did
The
laugh stuff.
other
You just say,
two.
but I got frostbite.
Oh, poor guy. Poor kid.
Something more notable than putting an arrow through your foot.
Anyway, that's Thaldir and Cassiopeia, and Corvus isn't here because he's a soldier or enlisted or something that they have to talk to him more than they talk to us.
He got executed.
Yeah, also, by the way, everyone that's waking up, look, Argy.
Wait.
Also, Archie, you're back. I knew they wouldn't keep you locked up
I think I'm still
for
dreaming.
being drunk.
Back to sleep now.
Mm.
He will wake up after 8 hours. Hopefully he won't
Wake
suddenly have
up
claws on him
after
before
the
that.
amount required to not take a level of exhaustion.
No,
Alright. Well, I will.
no, you see,
Yeah.
you should. Little hint: you should wake up now, Blackie,
Okay.
because
I...
I have a gift for everybody.
What?
It's not a full feat; it's a minor thing. But because of your constant exhaustion-inducing travel, the
Oh.
many nights you've gone without sleep,
Oh no.
you'll basically get advantage on any checks relating to exhaustion through lack of sleep.
What's the feat?
No, that's it. That's
Oh.
what
Oh,
it
that's
is.
feat?
Gonna
Okay.
call it endurance.
No, that's another feat.
Yeah.
No, I'm gonna call it. I'm gonna
Endurance
call
is
it
actually a
all
feat?
nighter.
Call it weary
So,
traveler.
I like the weary travel.
I
That's a good
like
one.
it. Yeah.
So we get
Actually, do
advantage
an
on
endurance
checks
feat?
versus exhaustion.
You know, they don't have an endurance feat yet.
Specifically related to staying up.
Onwards, my wayward son.
Oh, actually, related to staying up and travel.
Okay.
Source. Alley.
Okay. I'm writing this down. All right. Well,
So wait, say that again. So it's advantage on.
Checks related to exhaustion due
Oh,
to sleep or travel.
Okay, so it's any exhausted during sleep. Okay.
and I will basically I guess leave my mom somewhere so she can get some rest. If she needs more of it, or if she's okay. Are you okay?
She seems okay, although she does seem a little upset and shaken naturally. I'm
To Red Fox.
I'm still trying to. She sort of motions at her head, still trying to figure things out. Sort.
Yeah.
This is.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot. Why don't we just sit over here and talk for a while? Come on, Dingus.
Yeah.
Maybe get Kara over here. Get a little brownie powwow.
Care is
Short people party.
he was watching from up on the little tabletop,
Mhm.
sort of keeping his distance until you sort of motion to him.
Yeah.
And then he comes down. He's got a little rope set up on that table.
Nice.
They just clambers down.
I haven't had a goddamn freaking grapple hook, so my life has been hell.
And he wanders over.
Yeah, and we'll just go find a quiet corner and sit down and talk for a bit.
Mm-hmm.
And she'll try and catch them up on stuff.
Okay. Right. So you all see Gifton sort of sequester herself away with her mother, and you don't know who that other one is. Maybe a brother. Yeah. You're all reunited sans Corvus.
Reunited.
So do they have the stuff here around here to cook?
Who are you asking?
No, I'm I'm looking right now for.
There's nothing in here. No.
Okay, so there's not. They don't have anything to let us cook. Huh. Since the Sinclairs seem to be the ones that are talking to us for the most part, I'm going to ask them about food and cooking and such.
Oh, we've they've told us we can just go to their little kitchen whenever we want something, and they'll sort us out, or ask the guards to bring something. We're not supposed to be here much longer. They're apparently arranging living for us.
Okay. We should probably get some food.
See, these are things I'm asking my mom about. Is what are the plans for
And water.
for her and Care? What were they planning on doing before she got there?
We honestly weren't sure. They've offered to set us a place to live here, or apparently there's apparently brownies in their big city. It's apparently really, really far away, but they said that they could get us there.
That would be
Can you imagine that? Brownies living in a city? It's supposed to be even bigger than this place.
This place is huge.
I know. This is
And they know
It's overwhelming.
they know that they're there?
Yeah, they're not hidden.
I mean, that would be really nice.
But it's even further, you know?
Yeah, but what's it further from now? There's nothing left there.
I mean, there's got to be something, right?
They were burning everything down, Mom.
Surely they couldn't have found all of our places.
Oh, I'm sure some of them got into the woods, but how would we ever find anybody? And you know the rules. We can't go back.
Do you think those rules even matter now after that?
You know the draw lights.
The draw lights, who did what? During all that, I didn't even organize anything.
Yeah, but they're pompous and they'll tell everybody what to do.
Well, the draw lights can stuff it up their rears for all I care. It's probably some of the worst you've actually heard her curse.
She'll frown and go, I don't know if we'd be able to find anybody, and even if they trust us, because they might just think we're luring them in for something bad.
Maybe.
I mean,
I don't suppose...
would you trust a Honeyfoot coming into the woods after you got scared away?
No.
Coming in with soldiers or whatever, you know?
Gifton, Care says, I don't suppose you saw my father or any of the others.
I saw your dad fighting before I left. I tried to... The Goliath just laughed at me. I pulled my blade at him, but he just laughed. I couldn't do anything. But your dad and the others, I saw them take one of the Goliaths down. They did.
Good.
And I saw them fighting, but I didn't see how it ended. I had the doctor come up on me, and he was so scared sounding, and it kind of pulled me out of everything. It's like I was so ready to just run blind into it, and then I heard him, and it kind of snapped me out of it, and then I realized I needed to help get people out and not just swing wildly when I didn't know what to do.
Care nods, and your mother reaches forward to sort of take your hand. He's like, what about you, darling? What do you want to do?
I want to stay with my friends. I don't. Wherever they go, I said I'd go with them. Maybe you can come with. I don't know.
She gives you a sad smile and shakes her head. I'm not. I can't. I'm not. I'm not like that.
She
but
frowns.
You are, and it petrifies me. It scares me to think of you doing anything like this. But
I mean, I don't even know if they're going anywhere. They might decide that they just want to live here now. We don't know. But, I mean, if they're going to go someplace, I want to go. I want to make sure they're okay. I feel like I should take care of them, you know?
Maybe you should talk to them about it.
Yeah.
But just know, whatever you do, even if it scares me, I love you and I support you.
You know I'll come visit even if I go.
You better.
Even if I go on crazy grandpa times.
Yeah, you make sure you come and see me.
Yeah. But
And if you can't come and see me, you write to me or.
Yeah, they need to make some proper damn quills. But she give her mom a hug and go, I'm gonna go talk to my friends.
Okay, darling. And look, even though your father didn't believe in any of, well, this stuff, he'd be proud of you too. You know that.
I hope so. And then I'll kind of go, Kara, did you want the sword back?
No, you've made better use of it than me. No matter what Dad expected of me, I wasn't a good fighter, Gifton.
Yeah, but your heart was always in the right spot. Alright, I'm gonna go wander back over to my friends.
Mm-hmm.
Snore.
Somebody make Faldir up.
Dingus is going to bound up to Faldir.
Thank you.
Faldir. It's just a meep, meep.
All right.
Meep.
I have an idea.
Why isn't the snooze coming on?
I have an idea, but I'm not sure you're going to enjoy this.
Are you gonna push press down
I've
heavily
seen
on his head like a
lot
snooze
of
button?
cartoons, so I assume when I exhale, Dingus will move 5 feet away. Then I will inhale, and Dingus will come frightfully close to being.
Do you open your
inhaled.
mouth wide to exhale?
Yes.
Okay, Dingus sticks his head in your mouth.
He goes meep.
And sudden clamp down of teeth as I jolt awake.
And there is flapping wings in your face.
I would like to say I tried to send this projectile in Cassiopeia's direction.
No, there is just Dingus doesn't go far. His head is pushed back by the plur, and then there's just a hiss at your face as he sort of flutters off of your head.
Are you okay?
I think he just tried to become breakfast.
Yeah.
Or he was trying to find breakfast.
Wash that taste out.
Dingus is going to try and clean his head off against you, Gifton.
Alright,
Also, someone needs to wash that sewer
we
drain.
need a bath.
I think we probably could all use baths.
They've got baths here. Sinclair lady says, need to name the parents more. Her name's Eleanor.
Alright, I gotta write down another name.
Don't worry, Allie could kill everybody in this keep just so she doesn't need to remember their names.
She technically.
Well, that would be really nice. I could definitely use a bath. So could Dingus, maybe. You can shine those scales to make you pretty. Have you guys got any idea what you're gonna do? I kind of look over at my friends. I heard them saying that they're maybe gonna get homes. Did you
Gonna
talk to you
get
guys
some
about
food.
anything?
Sinclair said that they're getting housing set up. You already know where I kind of need to head to.
Yeah. And I said I'd go with you. But other than that, is there anything? Do we know?
We kind of agreed we'd all stay together to whatever point, but I mean,
Do you guys want to try to go back, or?
I don't think that with whatever that Goliath did, I don't think there's anything left.
Argues about that.
About what?
Let's go.
I was given an offer from the. I can't remember his title.
Shy Reeve.
That's in character.
Oh, okay.
So we've
Out of
wait,
character.
I mean,
Out of
actually,
character, clearly
in
Kronos
character
knew.
that was in character.
Out of
So
character. It's the Marif.
Oh, I didn't know either, but it's just as fitting in character.
So
You're just being snippy.
the wizard.
Like the Shire. Basically, evidently, they are working on doing an counteroffensive. Hit them back. And they're looking for adventurers to go with to help, get other points, things like that. Just general people who can operate in smaller groups and do more damage than a large-scale army. And he wanted to see if I could convince you guys to go.
So, I'm gonna smack Cassiopeia's flank because she hasn't.
Oh, you're gonna get kicked.
I'm staying to the side.
Guild, so I can get
I would still like to make a to-hit roll to see if I can kick.
At disadvantage.
Okay.
Horses have surprised people before.
That's just going to be a strength check, correct?
No, it's an attack roll.
I don't have a plain attack roll.
Don't you have a kick?
D20 plus strength modifier plus proficiency.
D20. Gotta get that up. Roll.
I mean,
D20 plus 2.
kind of what we've been.
What's your
gotta-
proficiency
got it.
modifier? Because you didn't do that.
That's plus 2.
I don't think it matters. Faldi, you're not in your armor, right?
You said a disadvantage.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, roll again. Hey! Yeah, I don't think that means 10 even with the proficiency modifier.
Yep.
That is with the proficiency modifier.
What?
You have no strength mod?
Yeah. strength mod.
Then it would hit a 10.
What's the strength mod?
4.
4. Okay, what's your unarmor? What's your dex modifier at then?
0.
0. Hey, it hits.
Ow.
Ooh.
Alright. Do
There-
you
there-
actually have a hoof damage template?
Yes, I do.
Alright, roll it.
I'm actually surprised you don't have your hoof attack in there.
Alright, okay, Faldia. You get clumped in the stomach. 6 points of damage. As Cassiopeia spazzes and flails.
Jeez, what a
I like to think it's that horse like trying to get up and just like kicking around.
Mm-hmm.
That happens.
Yeah.
I think horses try to get up, they're not graceful.
Mother, are you okay?
Oh, we fuck.
I'm sorry.
I'm gonna go run over, and since it's been a fresh day, and I'm pretty sure I got my stuff back. I'll take him for 6 points of healing. Or actually, I don't know. I'll take him for 5 because I'm guessing.
Guys, I'm not gonna confine you to having to guess your allies' health. You can give exact amounts, don't worry.
All right. Okay. Well, I'll give him 6 points of healing. So I'll do that.
I found chocolate.
So I come over and I'll make it better. I'll just go Shwaa! Healing light.
It's time to wake up.
It's usually a bad way to wake up a horse.
She's not a horse.
She's like half horse.
That's racist.
Right? Is that how centaurs work?
I mean, she's mostly horse, says the Sinclair boy.
I'm half elf.
I mean, by like percentage, probably.
I mean, doesn't it work the same way?
That's like saying
She looks at Archie and the Sinclair kid.
Mm-hmm.
It just glares and just.
See?
She's awake, isn't she?
That added at least like 5%.
She stops and looks back at Archie. Do I need to kick you too?
Yes.
I'd like to see you try.
Don't kick people. It's not nice.
Do you want me to go ask a guard to get you some food brought here, or I can lead you to the mess hall? Or...
Actually, yes.
Let's go
Please
to the
lead me
mess
to
hall.
the mess. Let's
Mess hall.
move over there.
Okay. And Sinclair boy gets up, and you can see he's still got a bit of a limp. But he's not on crutches or anything. He's just hobbling along.
Is it the same foot, or did he?
No, it's the same foot.
I'm gonna say, can you hold up a second?
Sure.
All right, I'm gonna take him for 5 points too.
Ooh. Okay.
I'll make it feel good because that'll mend up the hole really good.
Yeah.
Wording.
He's got a hole in his foot where the arrow went through.
Yeah, I know. But I'm gonna make it feel good.
Oh wow.
I mean,
how'd you do that?
Someone called her gift and
Does
feel
that feel
good.
better?
Are you one of those divine priestesses?
No, I'm not.
Yes.
I'm a dragon knight, and then I'm gonna go get him out.
Archie's just as she walks by, gonna kind of clap on his shoulder and go, sometimes there's questions you shouldn't ask, couldn't know the answer to.
can't
Then she just kind of points at gift, and that's the one.
Okay. Right. This way.
Alright, and I will actually see if my mom and Kara need any food or if they're coming with.
Could you just bring something back for us? We're going to talk about what we need to...
Okay.
Where we're going to go.
Alright.
Thanks for everybody.
Alright, and I will flap down the hall with Dingus.
Flippity flap.
Flip-flap.
Okay. You can make your way to the mess hall, and at this time there are actually quite a lot of guardsmen in there eating.
Cool.
they're having breakfast, and
There we go.
there's
Land on a
still
table.
space though. Yeah, there's long tables, communal tables. There are spaces
Yep, I will
because it's
land
not
on
the
a
full
table.
complement.
Good. So what we have to do is start a food fight and then escape. God.
And you can see there is a little sort of kitchenette towards the back of the room. There's a couple of people behind it just dishing up plates, bowls.
I will make sad eyes at Carrick.
What would you like?
I don't care, just food for me and Dingus. He likes potatoes.
Okay. Yes, I know. I've left up after him a lot.
Yes. But whatever they're having is fine.
Potato, egg, potato, egg.
Yep.
Where is Dingus at this point?
He's on
By
the
the
table
way.
with me. We landed on a table.
Okay, so he's not on me. Okay. I'm making sure of this.
Actually,
because-
I'll dismount and I'll go, hey, Dingus, go make sure Carrot gets us good food. Go ride
Dingus.
that shoulder.
Dingus bobs his head and clambers up on Carrick.
Yep.
Now that he's close, I'm gonna whisper back egg, and I don't know if the word potato exists in Draconic.
No, it doesn't. The best
Ground-
you can come for
tasty
is
root.
ground root.
Ground root. I'm gonna say those very quietly because there's some
You get flashes of the very same things in your head as he bobs his head excitedly.
Okay, I'm gonna go.
Tuber.
Oh wait. So did your mom and the other one come with us? I
No,
missed that part of it.
they want us to bring
I didn't
food back.
see- Okay, so I will gather the food for Gifton and Dingus and myself because we'll have to. I figure we'll grab on the way
Thanks.
back because that was not cold.
Yep. Okay.
So
So
the other people get their own food.
unfortunately, there isn't a lot of choice.
Yeah.
You either have the choice of porridge or what looks like to be reheated stew.
I really don't care. So, but I'm not making any input. I'm just waiting on the table.
Which one looks less old?
The porridge.
Okay, give the porridge then. I don't know how old the stew might be.
Dingus, meep, meep, egg, potato.
But there might be potato.
Gonna
with
get
the
him some stew.
Yeah.
Because there might be potatoes in there.
There's probably potatoes in the stew.
Yeah, I'll get him some stew.
Potatoes are luckily one of those really cheap foods, so you can find them in stew a lot.
Yeah.
Eggs can be incredibly cheap if you have almost a dolphin.
Yeah, but
Wow.
they aren't gonna make
Yeah.
eggs and leave them out waiting for people to come
Well, yeah.
eat them.
Hey, if you
I
have
don't know.
dolphins, then chances are you got a lot of eggs.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right,
Yes,
so
those
you're
amazing
taking
dolphins.
food for you, Dingus, and Gifton.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure Dingus and Gifton can fit on one tray
Yes.
for their food, and I can.
So you are well versed in balancing plates and shit.
Yeah.
I will go get myself some food behind Kirk.
Okay. You having the porridge or the stew?
Porridge, it puts meat on your bones and hair on your chest.
Smear it over yourself.
I mean, it works for oatmeal.
Okay, you're giving a big bowl of porridge.
Yeah. Well, whatever size bowl is provided,
Yeah.
I suppose.
It's a very full bowl. They seem to be giving you guys more than they give the other actual soldiers.
Wow. They must hate the other soldiers.
Yes.
Or
Right.
the other soldiers hate this food.
Cassie, Augie, you help yourselves to food.
Yes.
Okay, so you're able to get situated at the table. You're able to have a it's not private. There's people nearby, but you're able to get yourself your own little spot at least. And Dingus promptly buries his face into the bowl of stew. You can see sort of bubbles coming up.
I will dip
bread.
my own bowl into to get some, and sit there and eat and watch. It's actually fun to watch Dingus eat for me. He enjoys food on a level no one else does.
Food is Dinkus's favorite food.
He enjoys nearly drowning.
Okay, so amongst the bustle of the hall and other soldiers eating and laughing and yelling at each other sometimes, you're able to eat and discuss.
So RG, you said that they want us to go do stuff?
They're hoping that we can basically form a group and actually be one of the adventure groups that they're going to have going through the wildlands and attempting to take camps, that sort of.
So join the army again.
After a fashion.
Well, the
They'd
adventure
be- we'd
groups
be in
aren't
the
actually in
adventuring
the
guild.
army, right?
We'd be in the adventuring guild.
You'd be doing the same job.
Did they take brownies in the adventuring guild?
I assume so.
I can fix everybody's shoes.
You
Oh,
don't
this sounds suspiciously like being in the army.
fixing shoes. That's like for
That's
me.
the whole problem.
Fixing
Gifton,
shoes, that's just army with luxury.
I don't think you want to fix my shoes.
Yeah, your shoes are no touchy for me. Sorry, Cassiopeia. I'd fix them if I could.
Do they need fixing?
No.
They're brand new.
I mean, we have been walking over possibly a lot of rocks.
They're brand new and they cost me a fortune.
She has been kicking things, so
Yeah, she has.
Hey, that's your fault. That is entirely your fault.
But
Do you
That's
just
the
walk
thing.
by women and slap them on the ass to wake them up and not expect retaliation? And she's locking eyes with him.
I think if you slap me on the bottom, I might die.
See, this is why you don't do things like this, Valdir.
Dinkus, his head emerges from the stew, covered in it, and he like sort of rears his head back, roars a bit, and you get that flash of "No, I defend Gifton."
Gibson, Dingus said no slapping my bottom.
I don't know why, but I could hear that little roar going, "Neep!"
It's a somewhat bubbly roar.
I mean, it wouldn't be too bad. I kind of want to sell some of the clothes I made though, to get us some money, and I need to send some money with my mom and Care. I guess the big city, way up north, the really big one. They said that there's brownies around up there, and that my mom and Care could go join them.
Do you want to join them, though?
I want to stay with you guys. I mean, I'd like to go visit them when they're up there, but I want to stay with you guys. I said I'd stay with you guys.
I mean, we've basically been adventurers this whole time since everything happened.
And if we're adventurers, we get to pick what jobs we take, right? We don't just have to do them. How does that work?
I believe so.
Can
I
we
think
go to the
it's
adventuring
just
guild and ask?
probably. Well, I mean, look, Sergi, are you actually allowed to leave the building?
You were told that you just don't want you leaving the city.
They don't want us leaving the city right now. That's about it.
Okay. I mean, I guess after breakfast we could go over there and find out.
Alright, 1 second. I want to be really disruptive to everybody else's lunchtime. She's going to go towards the end of the table away from everybody else in the group, cup her hands over her mouth and go, "Excuse me, Mr. Soldier Peoples, is there anybody here who knows where a tailor is in town?"
There's a sudden pause, like deafening silence. One of the ones near you goes, "Yeah."
Is it really far?
Not really, no.
What street's it on?
It's on oh shit. It's oh man, street names. That's the thing, isn't it? Right? Yeah.
I mean,
Allie, I
Maybe.
can make this easy for you.
It's down
Call it
it's
Wall Street,
no,
and
it's
it
down
just
on
runs the entire length of the wall.
it's down on Corin Lane. It's not actually far from the keep.
Okay, thank you. What's the name
You're
of the
welcome.
shop?
Ooh. It is called. Oh, actually, no. Actually, you after a fine one or just a, basic common?
I'm gonna look over at Carrick and go, can you take the nice outfit out that I made? I wanna sell these clothes I made.
sure. Gonna
Show the nice outfit.
reach in and pull it out.
I make pretty clothes.
I can't remember. Is it humans? It's human
I
size.
made human-sized clothes.
That's what I thought. I couldn't remember.
Oh, that's oh, I haven't got an eye for it, but it looks nice.
Yeah.
If you want one of the fancy places, True Cut is down on Corin.
Okay. Thank you. Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah.
She goes, walks right back across the table.
Yeah, there's a lot of people watching you,
Yeah.
but eventually that murmur sort of starts to resume.
She rejoins the group. She's gonna, Carrick, am I really ugly?
What?
Everybody stares at me.
We've been over this. They're not used to seeing brownies.
I know, but it's a weird look.
Because they're not used to seeing brownies.
Oh, okay.
Especially
Anyway.
ones that are more than
If
happy
we
to
can-
yell around them.
Anyway, could we go sell these and we can get some clothes or some money from the clothes, and then we can split that up, and then I can give some money to my mom and Care and them maybe.
Sure. We could go try
And
that.
then we could find the adventuring guild. I'm sure if we ask one of the nice soldier people, so they'd tell us where the adventuring guild is.
Let's not yell like last time.
No. We'll ask somebody on the way out.
Okay.
And by we'll ask somebody, I mean you'll ask somebody. And she's looking at Carrick. I'll be in the back.
Why the bag?
Because it's scary out on those streets. It's big. I'm not ready yet.
You can do it. You'll need to get used to it anyway.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna
Just
finish
try-
eating my food.
You can just try dingus on my shoulder or something.
Okay. Well,
Okay, fishing, and what should I get for your mom and
probably
the other
some
brownie?
of the porridge since it's fresh. And it's easier,
Okay.
honestly, because she's gonna kind of motion the stew and then point at her fork and the chunks of stew, and show you a scale problem.
No, it's not big enough. Got
Yeah, it's not big enough. I like my chunks of stew much bigger.
So I'm gonna pick up her sword. Stab one of the potatoes.
Taking that off my belt, are you?
Oh, you're not. I figured you were probably using it.
No, I actually have I have my
potatoes.
own cookery set. I got out my pots and pans and shit, so I would just kind of scoop some stuff up.
Just imagine you look. She get a potato. And she just like looks like scraping a layer off of it.
Yeah, and actually, what I will do is, if you grab a little plate, I'll basically put some of the porridge in one of my cooking pots, and I have bowls. I'm assuming with my cooking kit, and I'll just give them actually properly scaled food and properly scaled things. It'll be novel.
I was just planning on bringing a whole bowl and say, "Here, eat."
It's because you're a dick.
No, just make sure they have plenty for all day, or for a bath.
Yeah, nobody wants to take a bath in the porridge.
I don't
Anything
know.
else?
Someone
you want to
probably
handle
wants that.
during mealtime?
Nope.
Is there anything else you guys want to handle during mealtime?
Nope,
Did anyone
just
besides
food.
Did anyone besides Sam and I say anything about going adventuring?
Not really.
Okay, so basically you have two of us.
I've said some things suggesting I'm not necessarily in favor of aspects of it, but
Well, I said we could go check into it at least, and
Yeah,
RG is
just-
the one that proposed it. So really, it's Cassiopeia hasn't said shit.
or Corbett.
Cassiopeia's been eating her food. Cassiopeia's gonna go look for a bathhouse.
I'm pretty sure Cass isn't
So
like I am
Cassiopeia,
in
you
real
coming
life.
with us when we go out?
Into
There's
town?
also-
Yeah,
There's
we're gonna
baths.
we're gonna go into town and we're gonna go sell the clothes, maybe get a bath, and then we could talk this adventuring guild thing.
Cassiopeia kind of gets this weird shudder at mention of a venturing guild. Sure.
We can
Is
do
there-
our own thing, and we can go find things and craft them and do stuff. It'll
Didn't
be
they
great.
Say there are baths here we could use.
Yeah, we can take a bath here.
Okay, I thought they said that.
Yeah, let's take a bath. So, I'm assuming
get a
we're gonna
thimble.
fast forward from taking the food back.
Okay, so you take your food back, and your mother and Care they thank you, and
They
then you
probably
excuse yourself to go have a bath.
Yep.
Okay, you all head off to the baths, and unfortunately, it's a it's a big bathroom.
Public bath.
Yeah, garrison public, but it's shared.
Yeah.
But there is warm water. There's soap.
Mhm.
There's
God.
all those things that you've been lacking.
And there's a dingus loose in the bathhouse.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh god.
And Cassiopeia, it's a large enough place, and there are some large enough tubs that you are able to actually get a proper bath.
Yay.
Yay!
Don't
Scrub
get
Dingus,
it.
stop. Don't eat the soap. Actually, dingus is probably over with the other side because
Bleh.
I'm pretty sure it's
Yeah, Dingus is
not-
actually not trying to eat soap. However, he is blowing at soapy water, Gifton.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for the meep with a bubble.
Yep. Did he try to drink some of it?
Oh,
Yes.
No, don't drink. It's for clean. Here.
Meep, meep.
Then I'm going to actually take time and I will sit there and scrub him first and make sure. he's
Okay,
pristine.
he starts to lick you in return.
Yes, I know. This is why he's getting cleaned first, and then I'm going to go in the water.
Yeah.
Oh, it's more fun the other way, so you're covered in soap when he
He
licks
give you bath.
Yeah, he give me bath, and then I'm going to scrub him real good, make his scale shine, and I'll dry him off,
Mhm.
and then I will hop in the water myself, and then
I was
Clean up.
so hoping for the dunk. Cash is
When
gonna
you
come up
get
and
in the
dunk him.
Mhm.
water, he stares at you, and his eyes dilate,
yeah.
and every now and then you just hear a worried little.
Damn cats.
Okay. I don't understand why he's worried about me in the water, but he is.
Beep.
He's a cat. Why do you think he's worried about you in the water? You're in the water.
He's scared you're gonna drown.
Yeah. I'm like,
Nobody
okay.
splash them.
Quick,
Yeah.
quick, Cass, dunk him. You're the only other female that's there that
I
know
will
of. How
clean
hard you went.
quickly. I will clean quickly. And I go, I know you're watching for me. It's okay.
Great. Yes, this turned into that standard anime episode where we're bathhouse.
No, you guys don't even have a fucking divider.
Baths.
If you
Yeah.
got shame, you're gonna have to like use towels or something.
So,
Yeah.
so in other words, I can dunk Dingus if I really want.
Yeah.
to.
RG doesn't give a shit.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Do I dunk Dingus?
Don't worry. My beard covers everything.
It's a
No,
full
No,
length.
I just imagine Faldir doing the old man stand, like not giving a single shit, stretching.
One leg up on a bench.
Unfortunately, still dwarf.
With someone
so.
who's sitting down on the bench right there.
Well, yeah.
Or slap my balls. What are you looking at?
Oh, hey, look, somebody dropped his silver.
Okay, everyone make a wisdom saving throw.
No,
Oh,
I can't
it's
see
not
the. I can't see the lip
constitution
of the
check?
the lip of the pool makes it too high. I can't see it. Nope.
Yep.
Safe. Automatically
I'm
safe.
fine.
Here, I thought it'd be a con check. Oh,
Nope.
I am choosing to automatically be safe on that. Can't touch me.
Actually, in Carrick's case, the important thing is this against being charmed.
Oh, woo! Oh.
No.
No, I think it's for other worse things.
You know, when Marcus listens back to this, this will be the moment where he'll be like, maybe it's a good thing I wasn't here for this
Okay.
game.
Yeah.
All right. Dingus also helps shield you, Gifton.
Yes, thank goodness.
Carrick. Ugh. Oh God.
By the way, Carrick is actually using towels.
Yeah.
Carrick actually has some sense of
Why would you use a towel when you're in the water? Jeez, what kind of person are
Carrick
you?
does that young man shy, step into the water with a towel still around him, only sort of like lets it start to release away from himself when he lowers himself in.
Archie's
to
just been wandering
mention,
around buck-ass naked.
There's also the issue with the fact of his bad luck, usually.
Gifton's actually on the
So-
farthest end away from everybody as much as possible because them just moving around makes waves.
Yeah.
And she just doesn't want to deal with your guys' bullshit.
Cassiopeia, any shame?
No shame.
Okay. Right, well, you want
I mean,
to
half
have a
of hers
lovely
make
bath.
it. Half of hers
I mean-
make it anyways.
Yeah.
I say half has no shame ever, so
Your dress could be long enough sometimes.
There's a tail there.
Oh my.
Oh my. Yeah.
Right. So you're all able to get yourself noshed up squeaky clean.
Man, I haven't been
Unfortunately-
seen in like weeks.
How many of you carry a change of clothes?
I do.
I actually do. I technically
I
have
do.
two different ones.
Nope.
Okay. Alright, so most of you are able to get into a nice, change of clothes.
Mhm.
Unfortunately, Augie and Faldir, I'm assuming,
Yep.
these could really do with a wash at some point.
Archie's gonna do this thing and just take some of the water, stick it in the bucket, and
You're
start
gonna-
fucking washing his shirt there in the
You're
bucket.
gonna wash your
Fuck it,
clothes
why
while you're
not?
doing this.
Yeah, fuck it.
Okay. What about you, Faldir?
Yep. Just gonna wash your clothes.
Yeah, why not?
Okay, so you have your bath, and then everyone else is able to get into nice, clean clothes, and you're able to get into clean but fucking soaked clothes.
Being wrung out, so
Yeah.
at least damp.
Yes, damp and clinging to you.
Yeah, but she's
yeah.
already got no shame, so what are we worried
Yeah.
about?
Didn't give a shit.
That's the worst feeling in the world. I hate it.
I know.
I mean, she's so many times probably fallen asleep and fallen into the fountain in the process.
Yeah, if
Of
we
the
weren't
Tarnstead,
worried
but
about
don't think
things,
she
I would
cares.
ask somebody to prestidigitate your damn clothes dry, but we're not doing that shit in
Wait,
public
did
bath.
we get our bags back?
Your bags were in your room,
Mhm.
and you could take them with you if you pleased.
I didn't have a change of clothes in there either, so.
Yes,
I
I do have something that I might be able to take advantage of, because
Dry at heart. Actually, can it dry? Because I can do thaumaturgy and
Druidcraft?
craft.
I don't think so.
I don't think
you
you
can
can.
instantly light or snuff out a candle, a torch, or a small campfire.
Yeah, I
No.
don't think it can.
I mean, technically, you could, make the definition that your clothes could be
Lit
lit
on
like
fire.
a campfire, but that won't assist in the wearing part.
No, I'm afraid this is the realm of prestidigitation.
No, I guess not then.
That also means that Carrick now has noble clothes on, not
Character
Fancy
fancy
clothes.
boy.
Actually, I have some clothes that might work for you guys. It probably wouldn't be perfect fit though.
Yeah,
I have two average quality fine silk clothes I made.
I'm fine.
Okay.
Too fancy for me.
Okay.
I would probably shrug if offered.
Well, now that we're all clean, let's go sell some shit.
Okay.
Right. Okay. So you start to make your way through the halls.
Yep.
Augie and Faldir have that faint noise as they're walking.
Hey, my boot isn't soaked.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Hey,
your
I
trousers
don't
legs are
have
rubbing against
shoes.
each other.
If we walk past some where guard or whatnot, where do we wash clothes around here?
Wash clothes. I mean, you can.
Claire,
Uh,
whatever we want to do.
there's a room next to the bathhouse. You can them off in there.
Oh,
I'm gonna.
real quick. Which way's the Adventuring Guild?
Adventuring Guild.
Yeah, if we want to sign up.
You sign up, man. The only closest thing to an Adventuring Guild building is in Winden.
Oh, okay. Okay, we'll be back.
Going to Winden.
Going to Winden. Bye.
Yep. I've said it before that there is no real guild houses. It's just handled through the.
I just didn't know if there was a sign up.
shit.
I didn't know if there was a sign up post or something.
It's here.
Yeah. So she'll go.
Okay,
She'll
yes,
go.
go
Okay,
do
well,
it.
we're going to Winden. Bye.
Okay.
Pretty sure that means there's stuff here.
That is called joking, Valdir.
Humor! Haha!
Hard to tell with you sometimes.
We should go to the. Can we go sell this stuff real quick? That'd be good. I need to sell
Sure.
this stuff.
Sam is desperate to sell the things she has made.
I really want to sell my clothes.
We're gonna go hunt down the place.
Okay.
Alright, well, you are able to head out the keep. No one tries to stop you. Because you're free to go. You're not under arrest.
Coming back is going to be a problem.
I will ask whatever guard is towards the exit, which way is Corin Lane?
He points away from the keep. Right, so if you go down the main street,
Okay.
when the Church of Immor is on your right,
Yeah.
you carry on straight down the road there. That's Immor Lane. Straight ahead of you. Don't turn right.
Don't turn right, but don't turn left.
Go down the smaller. Don't turn left. Just go straight. It's the smaller road.
Okay. What's a smaller road?
One that's smaller than this one?
Okay. Thank you.
As you're coming out of the keep, you can see that your horse and cart are actually off to the side. The horse is stabled. The cart is just resting.
Hi, Clop.
Sleeping. Clop snorts and sort of bobs his head, as horses do.
Yep. We are not close friends. I am going to keep moving away from that horse.
Also, as a note, Argy's actually attempted to put her hair more under control.
Okay. Well, it's wet, so you can sop it down a bit.
Less of a poof.
Yeah. Okay. Are you trying to start it at all, or just smooth it down?
Gotta straighten and smooth down, and that she might think something, tried to kind of comb it.
Okay.
Rather than just leaving it like it was, like she normally would.
Okay.
Is there anything else we want to sell while we're out? I think that's it, right?
So.
Okay.
Isn't there that crap we got from the corpses?
Yeah, but I don't know who we... Like, you mean the broken stuff?
No, the magic thing.
Oh, we should talk to... I think we'll talk to them about that when we talk to them about the guild thing, because they'll probably know what to do with the magic stuff there. Okay?
Is this considered a major city? Or no?
It's a large town.
Okay, so I'm not gonna try to find a place to buy.
Hey, Carrot,
here.
is there something that you're supposed to do?
I am, but I'm worried about her being inside the barracks.
No, but we're gonna be around town, so maybe she'll...
Still concerned about it, but okay, I'm gonna reach into the bag and pull out the
blue scarf.
Yeah, so my brain's sitting going like I'm blue. I'm like, what was the thing we decided it was? As I'm sitting here slowly opening my character sheet to look.
It's a blue Escort.
Yeah.
Yeah. You are now Freddy.
Yes.
No.
Right, and you put that on?
Yes.
Okay, the moment you put that on, there is suddenly a voice in your head going, "Oh, I've been watching you for days. Okay, I'll be there as soon as possible. You can reply to this message, no more than 25 words or so. I'll see you soon."
Cool.
Please be careful. We're staying in army barracks. I think that's under 25.
Yeah, okay.
Close enough.
Alright,
Right.
I'm gonna start flying down the lane, or towards the lane, because, going places.
Yes.
And I'm assuming I'm just kind of checking everything out.
She'll be here soon, it sounds like.
Okay, what's that spell?
As you go down,
What's worse?
to your left, all of these seem to be shops and so on. Various types, some selling goods. You can see bowyers, you can see a general store, you can see all manner of things. And as you get down to here, you see a small little temple on your right. Looks like there's a little graveyard out back. And
Am I missing your ping? Oh, okay, there it is. I just
Yeah, number 7 on the map right there. I think, right? So, the Temple of Amor.
Yep. And you'll recognise the symbols that show it is a temple of Imor, god of death.
I'm just doing the whole. I'm just telling Dingus, this is the second temple I've ever seen in my whole life.
And this seems to your right seems to just lead off down the road you came in through. To your left seems to lead into a different section of the market district, and ahead of you you can see the shops continue with houses on their right.
Alright, I will fly off that way.
Okay.
I'm following her.
Right. Towards the end, actually you have to travel pretty far down the street. It's this tiny little one.
Okay.
Right here. You see a very fancy gilded sign out front.
That one.
Yes. Thanks for the poop.
I can't help it. Poop's my color.
And you notice
color.
the houses near it are rather well kept as well. And just across from it, there seems to be a large mansionish building.
Okay.
Is that the big pink one?
Yes.
Is the door
Looks
open?
almost like an S.
The door isn't open, but there's a sign that says open on the inside of the door. It's actually glass door.
Oh no,
like-
me and Dingus.
Oh yeah, let's make a perception roll for Dingus, please.
Oh no, Dingus doesn't know what glass is like. Maybe I don't know. Dingus, please.
Well, you've encountered glass.
Dingus, no!
Alright, and there's a
glass.
thump
Oh, we both
as
go
Dingus
down.
tries to enter
Yep, and we
and
both
runs
go down.
right into the glass.
One
So that's
dingus.
where that 23 comes from.
One
Ow!
dingus attempts to enter.
What happened,
Yes.
Dingus? I'm shooting
You
lots
went
of
in.
flashes of various things.
You ran into a window.
I'm gonna give him a little. I'm gonna give him a little tink heal.
He's confused.
Giving him a tink heal. That's another hit point I'm doing. There we go.
Okay.
Make it feel better. I kiss it better.
He hisses at the invisible force field.
Yep.
I'm going to walk up and either push or pull open said door.
Okay, the door opens. There's a ding of a bell ringing.
Let's go quick. Come on,
Right.
Dingus. Through the invisible force field.
Now, you can all see that if everyone tries to get in here, it's going to be very crowded. This is a small tailor shop.
Okay, it's a tailor shop, so they're not selling China, so we shouldn't be as problematic. But I'm not going to go in it.
Now, okay, so Gifton heads in with Dingus, Eric heading in.
Yep.
Anyone else choosing to head in or stay outside?
I'm staying outside. That is a tiny shop.
Yeah, good plan.
Arg, you'll go with.
Okay, you're going in.
I'm supposed to be the
That's
talking
probably about
person, so...
Okay. Even with just the two large ones and the Dingus and Gifton, it's not too crowded, but like this is basically store capacity right here. Looking around, there's a mannequin with some half-finished clothing on it. There are no outfits on display to be bought, but there are loads and loads of drawers and fabrics.
Wow, all sorts of stuff here.
This is an actual tailor shop. This isn't a clothing store.
Oh.
And you see a gentleman coming from the back. He's elven, hair just starting to grey, and he's in a very, very finely tailored suit.
I'm gonna get Dingus to land on the counter and I'll dismount.
Unusual. And he looks over at Carrick. Can I help you?
Look down at well, I almost said Dingus.
Wow,
Gifted,
I see how it is. I made some clothes, and the guard said I could bring them here maybe to sell them. I don't know if you're interested. Hi, my name's Gifton, and I'm gonna pull a seed out of my pocket, and I'm gonna make it bloom into a flower and offer it to him.
He smiles at the still display and reaches out and takes the flower. Oh, Gibson, a tailor, are you?
Yep.
I'm not often in the habit of buying clothes, but I'm interested in seeing what you have. He says, looking your form over.
Yep.
I'm going to reach into the bag of holding.
I have 2 finely crafted fine silk clothes and 2 average quality fine silk clothes.
I'm just deploying their
Okay.
brownie made.
So he actually takes out a pair of spectacles, which very expensive in his setting. He puts those on, and he may I?
If you don't sell clothes, is there somebody else who might? I don't want to make you buy something you don't buy.
Oh, I'd like to take a look at these because I may be able to help you with that. If you don't mind me inspecting them closely.
Oh, sure, go ahead.
Yes. And he sort of picks up the one of the shirts from one of the outfits, and he starts looking it over. He sort of folds the sleeve inside out, checking the inner stitching. So, you said you made this?
Yep.
This is marvelous stitchwork you have.
Yeah, my mom taught me.
Your mother taught you?
Yeah, she was one of the best tailors we had.
So you apprenticed under her as such? And he spent some time looking at the rest of your stuff. He tapped his chin. Now, I'm not in the habit of buying clothes, but what are you, by the way? You're obviously fey kind.
I'm a brownie.
A brownie.
Yeah. I hear they have more of us in the capital city.
Yes, the tinkers. Yes, brownie tailor. Oh, and he seems to be thinking, and then he sort of holds his hand out to you. I am. Oh no.
I am. Oh no.
Oh no! I have to think of a name.
I am Edward Alassanor.
Edward. I'm gonna need you to spell that last part, but I'm writing it something down right now.
I will just type it in.
Latinal. I feel like you. Alassanor. Okay, I heard a Latinal. I got that wrong. And I will gladly put my hand on a finger and, to do the thing. I'm Gifton Brockgren, and this is my friend Carrick Marsk, and this is RG the brewer.
He cringes visibly at the sight of RG, whose clothes are still a bit damp.
She had a bit of an incident with water. I was gonna make her some new clothes later. You sell fabric though, right?
Not typically, but I could.
Oh.
But however, though, I'm afraid most of my supplies here are for my own wares. You see.
Oh! I am so sorry. I misunderstood. We come from a very small town. Not as small as you might be picturing at this particular moment, but we're from Tarnstead.
Tarnstead. I have heard word about Tarnstead.
Yeah, we're some of the people from Tarnstead. Anyway, they only had the one shop for everything mostly, so I'm not used to being in a big city.
I mean, certainly, I could arrange for buyers for you. It's not. I'm not typically one to bring about good things for my own competition, but would you be interested in perhaps a little bit of a partnership? You see, a fate. I'm sorry, brownie tailored clothes. That could be something special.
Yeah, that could do. Would you want an amount of the sales?
That's. I'd appreciate that. Yes.
That seems fine with me.
However, I'd like to see. I mean, these are very fine and they're lovely. But would it be possible to see you make something?
Yeah, I can stay here and do that. If you got the time.
Certainly. He looks at Carrick and Argy, and I'll tell you what. I'll supply some of my fabrics. You tailor a suit for one of these, and we'll show that off.
Sure. I also have some silk still. I think.
Oh, marvelous.
I think we have a couple bolts left, so. I
And
can use that.
we'll discuss business once you're done, and we see what it's like.
All right.
Okay. All right. So he actually starts to get little bits and pieces out.
Uh-huh.
Tape measures, sewing supplies, fabrics,
Mhm.
pieces of parchment paper that you assume templating.
Mhm.
And okay, which of you would be the model?
If I'm using my own silk, we'll say for RG maybe, because I would at the very least I'd like to buy her a new outfit.
He nods with that fake look of disappointment, thinking Carrick would look so much better. But certainly.
I mean, and she goes, actually, I want to make RG something special later. Let's do Carrick. So she'll do Carrick. Because she wants to make RG something that reflects RG, not something that reflects her skill. You know?
By the way,
Hmm.
was this male or female? First off,
I'm assuming
Edward.
He.
I will say it's a little hard to tell looking.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So Edward.
I mean, Ed was.
Yeah,
in,
true. Ed could be a female name. You're right. Yeah.
Mhm.
All right.
Was brain not thinking of show suddenly.
All right. So
Bebop.
yeah, I will model with. I will use Carrick as a model.
Cowboy Bebop.
This will take you some time.
Yep.
Your other companions are standing outside. Do they wish to stay here, or?
Yeah, RG, do you
Don't
want to
wanna
tell
go.
the others that they can go shop or something while I do this?
Or just kind of go, will do.
Right.
Right. And Sam, give me a roll with your tailors.
Yep. Dexterity. Here we go. Do. I am gonna do the do. That's not bad.
Okay. Yeah. You are able to make a lovely, passable outfit.
It's weird. I probably am making like the weirdest faces of using these weird tools, but
So it's quite a sight, Carrick, because her measuring system and such is like, okay, going to use a pin to pin the top of the measure here.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And then abseil down with the rest of it.
Yeah.
So it's basically Gifton is climbing all over you.
Yep.
Pinning things into place, attaching fabric.
Mm-hmm.
And this takes a while. This takes a long bloody while.
Yeah. Well, it's supposed to take like part of my rest period usually for me to do an outfit.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And
it takes a couple
Edward is just watching, and every now and then he asks, "Oh, why do you do this like this?" and so on and so forth.
Mm-hmm. And I'll just be kind of like, I have to adapt because I usually don't have a model because I'm usually doing things for people that aren't awake.
Do you have a maker's mark?
I will say inside collar. There's like a little flower. Like that's mine.
Oh, marvelous.
My mom used to do a rose.
Now, I believe you could certainly make a bit of money just by making outfits and selling them off in the more common shops, but you could make so much more by actually custom tailoring.
You think
there are? Oh yeah, anybody that could afford them could buy them.
Okay.
But you to have a suit tailored by a fey creature, that's something special. That's and they are fine suits in themselves, but the attachment of what and who you are adds a little more bragging rights.
Oh.
I'm sure a lot of the nobility would be very interested.
Well, I'd definitely be interested in working with you on doing those kind of sales.
Yes. Let's see. How about you return here tomorrow at midday?
Okay.
And I'll arrange a little meeting and demonstration.
Okay.
If you could bring your friend again, and we'll model this outfit.
All right.
I will be here.
All right.
And actually, your other clothing. I'd be willing to purchase these.
Okay. How much do you think they're worth?
He looks them over, and
Unfortunately, Gifton's not a good marketing person, so she'll probably accept like whatever they sell for.
No, I'm weighing this on the fact that he's also trying to make a good impression himself.
Yeah.
Hey, let's see. Hey, I'm gonna say. Okay, he goes. Would you accept 20 gold apiece? And Carrick,
Yes.
you feel that's his starting point. That's not him being generous.
I'm gonna lean down. Or
It's
actually, I'm gonna
unfortunately
pick up.
really hard to be subtle.
Don't advise her. Speak for her, please.
Okay.
You're
No,
the
I'm gonna-
charisma class, for the love of
Yeah, I
God.
know. I'm gonna pick her up, going. Get more than that. I have a feeling you can sell these for quite a bit more than that, sir.
Well, certainly I can, but I need to give myself a margin of profit, obviously.
Isn't there like an overhead, and you have to like make a? If he buys it for that much, he only gets that much back. And it's like
Kind
I
of
listen to the
put the
general store
hand
person
up.
talk all the time.
I had to put the hand up in front of her.
Carrick, you can do a persuasion roll without advantage because she is not helping you.
I will discuss her about other things with that later. It will take
Oh,
21.
very nice. Okay. Oh, that's it. How about 25 gold?
That sounds really nice.
Isn't that exactly what you just
No, you
said?
did 20.
No.
He just
It's
went
a
up by 5 gold. That's a lot.
I missed that because I swear she said 25. And I'm
No.
like, wait a second. Did Allie blank on this?
That would be me making 100 gold off of this, and they're normally 15 gold pieces to buy, and me
Had we
selling them for
discussed
that
like
much is
how
pretty good.
much like stuff
shit.
costs to make? First off,
What'd say?
as a curiosity, because Carrick has no idea how much this costs out of his own. Had this been discussed like how much it would take to make this
Oh, yeah.
out of character?
We have
In
it's
character
much
has
lower
to-
than 15.
I mean, like in character. I'm actually asking.
in-
No,
Gifted.
because you've been using supplies that you found.
Yeah, but Gifted might know what.
I know it.
stuff
I know
might
it
be.
cost me like 2 gold, 5 silver,
Yeah.
or something like that.
Yeah.
It's cheap.
So
If
there
you
is
want-
a rough idea
Hey,
of how
why-
much it would cost.
You could have been talking to him about prices of fabric in here while you worked.
Yeah.
So I'll let you roll to see if you know the general costing.
You want me to roll?
Both of you can make a straight intelligence roll.
Oh, that's not a good stat for Gifton.
Cool.
Don't worry, I did really bad too already.
All right, Gifton, you got it.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
that's
it's-
like 2 gold, 5 silver for the materials, the labor, and then the selling, and then you reselling it, and then she's just like figuring it out. She's figuring it out in her head. She goes, and that's many of the heavy coins.
I think for the first go, 25 sounds good.
Certainly. This is just me, of course. I'm sure our noble clientele will pay you much more.
I can work exclusively with your shop if that helps.
Oh yes. We'll discuss it in the tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
I can
times.
also do stuff with wood, but it's probably not as nice as my sewing. I can also see if my mom can come help.
Your mother?
Yeah, she's in the keep.
Okay. Yes, certainly. Bring her along.
Alright.
Right.
Out of character, Gifton's thinking mom could be a tailor.
Ah.
'Cause, in my backstory, my mom's a master tailor.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
that does have the advantage in the fact that we're going to go out adventuring, and that
Yeah.
makes it a lot harder for you to
Yeah,
participate.
yeah.
All right. Okay. Well then, I will see you
Tomorrow
tomorrow.
at midday. Thank you.
Here. He's actually going to count out the coins. For the 4 suits, you get 100 coins in total. 100 gold,
I'm gonna look at Carrick.
which he's going to give you in platinum pieces, actually.
So 10 platinum?
platinum.
Okay.
Okay, thank you for someone telling that, because I'm like, you know what the conversion is. Okay, so putting.
And your name is Gifton, right?
Yes,
Gifton Brodkin?
Gifton Bracken.
Marvelous. Okay. I hope to see you soon then. And he's going
We'll see you
to
tomorrow.
take the outfits out back.
All right.
I'm going to stick the one. We have one gold and 4 copper in the kitty right now, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to put the. That's right. I had to edit first.
All right. So 10 platinum. We've got 6 people. We could do 1 platinum piece apiece, and then leave 4 in the kitty.
I'm just
Wow.
putting 10 plat right in the bag for now because I figure
Yeah,
we can figure that out
we'll do
another
it later.
time. So I got that saved there.
Okay. Everyone else, what would you like to be doing while they're doing this?
I'm gonna find a blacksmith.
You're going to find a blacksmith? Okay. That's easy enough to do. Blacksmith. You have to wander around a bit, but soon you hear the sound of ringing metal, and the blacksmith is actually over here, just opposite some of the warehouses in this district.
That makes sense.
Yeah. And there's a human working out front, because not all blacksmiths are dwarves.
How utterly unracist. I'm so disappointed in you.
But he is very well built, very tanned, and completely bald.
It's far too tall to be a blacksmith. I don't know how
Yeah.
you can. And now I'll just dry my clothing by standing.
You just come stand near the furnace.
Was wondering if I could buy a couple of hammers from you.
A couple of hammers. What kind?
Small.
Small hammers.
Small hammer.
They've working metal.
Yeah, from time to time.
Certainly. Okay. Alakata, what are you actually after?
Light hammers.
Light hammers. Okay.
Yeah. The occasional throwing weapon, but can also be used as melee.
Yes. Okie dokie. All right. Yeah, I've got a couple of hammers here. 3 gold apiece.
Yeah, I'll take 2.
All right. And you need something to carry those in, or are you good?
That'll be good.
All right. He just places a couple of simple hammers down on you. They look steel. On you, by you, Jesus. And then he holds out his hand.
Oh, hand him 6 gold pieces.
All right, he takes them. He bites one, checks it. All right. Nice doing business with you. Anything else?
Do you mind if I stand here for a moment and let my clothes dry a bit?
He looks you over and goes, "Yeah, no problem." And he gets back to work, letting you stand and warm up. Argy and Cassiopeia.
So there's a giant house next to us, correct? In
Yeah.
the corner. Okay. Looks like someone's rich house, some rich person's house. Can we see the other temple that's across from that
Not
house?
quite from this angle now.
Okay. I am actually going to go back to the Moor temple and take a look around.
Okay.
Because this is Cassiopeia getting into that, ooh, I can see more stuff, get more ideas.
All right. Argy, are you going with, or did you want to do your own thing?
She'd probably wander up and find the tavern to get an actual meal.
Okay. All right. So Cassiopeia, you're able to wander over to the temple, and it's a small, quaint temple. It's nearly more of a shrine than anything.
Mm-hmm.
But it's got an interior, and you're able to open up the door and head in if you want. The architecture is downright Gothic. There's a little bit of fencing to the sides that seem to keep the graveyard out back from being just walked into.
Mm-hmm.
And as you head in, there's a few pews in here, a small shrine at the front, and that's about it, really. There's no stained glass windows. It's very quaint.
She's going to just take her time and look and admire. and just be placid, because this is all very neat stuff to her, and she's just smiling happily. And after a little while, go ahead.
How long are you spending in there?
Gifton's going to be hours,
Yes.
and I don't know that, but we heard she was going to work on something, so Cast BP is going to be like, it's going to be a little while. So she's going to spend 25, 30 minutes at least.
Okay. About 20 minutes into that, someone does come in from the back. He looks like a priest, sort of. You can see that there's a symbol of Imor hanging from around his neck. His clothes look like they would be priestly clothes, only his sleeves are rolled up. His hands are dirty, and basically his robes are sort of tucked up and tucked into boots.
He's the Undertaker.
Mm-hmm.
And probably also the priest on duty.
Yep.
I wave politely to him.
Oh, hello, my child. How may I help you?
Oh, don't mind me. I'm always looking at any temple I come across, because I'm always interested to see what others have done to honor.
Well, you're more than welcome. Imor's house rarely gets visited.
Sadly, I've seen a lot of temples that, well, I can't say a lot, but I have seen a few temples that just don't get visited. It's kind of sad, because a lot of people put a lot of effort into making these places vibrant and livable and to honor others.
He smiles at you and goes, well, unfortunately, Imor's not particularly vibrant, but you're welcome all the same. Everyone is. And he actually heads over and grabs a cloth up from one of the pews and just starts to wipe his hands off.
And she's just going to continue to look, and after a little while, she's going to stand up, and before she leaves, she's going to do the exact same thing she did over at the previous temple.
Mm-hmm.
And she's just going to go, just thinking and muttering to herself, I know it's well past, but now that I know what's happened, I hope he made it to the right place. And then she just turns and walks.
As you start to walk out, you hear the priest's voice saying, he saw death just as you would. Death will follow you, and it will claim those around you. See that you harness it and control it.
And she just stops and looks back at him.
And you just see him there still cleaning his hands off, not even looking at you.
And she stops and she's thinking, and she's like, he saw death, but I honestly have to believe he saw death to protect others, and so long as I draw breath, I'm going to keep them alive.
And the priest glances over at you as you're looking towards him. Is something the matter, my child?
Oh, no. I think I'm... Don't mind me. Thank you, though. I hope you have a wonderful day.
You too. Imor's guidance be with you.
Thank you.
Toby, there's a creepy voice.
Yes, there is! Shit! And then she's going to step out, shake a bit. She has this moment of that flash of anger, like nothing's happening to them.
Mm-hmm.
And she's going to walk around stomping a little bit, trying to get her anger under control before she blasts someone accidentally.
Tantrum centaur on the way.
You hear from people walking down the street. You hear, "Mummy, why is that horse so angry?" And okay,
3 children were killed in their area.
You want to find a tavern, do you?
Shit! No! Archie, no!
What kind of tavern are you looking for?
One that serves food, preferably.
Okay, how are you doing this? You wandering around, or are you actually going to ask somebody?
She'll just wander up and ask somebody.
Okay. Food, you say?
Yeah, somewhere just to grab a decent meal.
Well, if you like seafood, there's one down by the docks that's really good. Otherwise, just down the street. Oh no. Shit, I'd named 2 taverns except that one.
The meaty soup bone. The meaty soup bone.
The meaty soup
actually,
wop?
We
The
have
meaty
Horse
soup
and
bone.
carriage.
we have a tavern name for here.
Yes, I know,
Also-
but it's not that one.
That's
Okay.
not the one we're near.
It's the meaty soup bone.
This meaty soup bone.
Yeah.
That may be
Yeah.
the one that the 2 dogs
Sure.
is against.
The meaty soup bone specializes in
Soups.
good food.
Works for me.
Hearty
Right,
soups.
just under there, you'll see it. There's always people outside, and you're able to go down to this building over here.
Okay.
And yeah, this is basically ye olde gastro dining place,
Nice.
Works for me.
and you're able to go in and get a nice hearty meal. And there is actually a broad section of how you can have your meats cooked and served, and so on and so forth. They do specialize in soups, lots of broths.
I like to think that they do like a
Bacon
big broth,
soup.
and then they give you like a they'll
Yeah.
they'll give you like a bone with a little bit of meat in it. Sometimes in
They,
it.
they actually specialize in serving up cooked bone marrow.
Oh, nice.
Don't let Carrick know about this place.
So delicious.
Is it the only thing he's gonna eat?
Carrick
Yeah.
will be like, I haven't tried everything there yet. Kind of like me in the taco place.
Oh god.
Right.
Halfway through the menu.
Okay, and that is where we're going to end.
Yeah, we're a little over time. Sorry.
No worries. Okay, everyone, take 150 XP for this session.
Yeah.
Yay!
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Cool.
So-
150 XP. So
1822.
2-2.
okay.
Right, and just see, you earned yourself 10 platinum, which you guys can figure out.
Which I'm gonna put that in here. Sold those. Gained 10 plat. And then I'm gonna delete the clothes from the tracking.
Yes.
I put it in the loot listing on Roll20 for the money.
And Gifton,
Hmm?
you get the tailor feat.
There's a tailor feat?
I'm making one up.
Okay.
What this is you can double your proficiency bonus on your tailor checks, your weaver's tools. So basically you have expertise.
Yep.
And you also have advantage on rolls made to tailor.
Okay.
And once per week, you may make, without roll, a full mastercrafted outfit. And this is basically flavored as you work on this bits and pieces through the week.
Okay. Cool.
Now,
Thank you.
does that preclude her from doing the
No,
other?
that's on top of the stuff. Basically, she has her quick project, which might turn out good, might not. But she has her dedication project.
Nice.
Thought I'd clarify just to make
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if I was like, if I spent a week on it, I could do a masterwork.
No. This is on top of it, whatever else you do.
Ah, man. Guys, I need to stay here like a week. I want to sell a nobleman a masterwork outfit and really build some clout. I'm just saying, guys, please.
I think you're gonna have to make at least 2 so that Carrick can be outfitted in your best possible raiment.
Well, see, I can
And
I
then
can
you
do that
can
while we're on the
have-
road.
Sell it.
I can do that on the road. I can make him one.
Yeah,
over the
but
week.
you need him to look his best, so then you can sell it to the nobleman.
No, I do. But I just like I need like a week so I can make something really amazing.
So we're going to spend the next 2 weeks scamming every single noble. And
No, it's not scamming. It's a worthwhile product that they can get.
Oh no, I just meant while you're doing that in the
Oh yeah,
background.
you guys can go scam them. Yeah, that's
scamming,
great.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else? Or I'm gonna stop recording.
That's about it. Oh, actually, bit of homework I'd like from you guys.
All right.
Oh.
I want you to give me a write-up of where you'd like to see your character going in the future. It can be vague or it can be directed, but I'd like a little bit of direction.
Okay.
It can be framed in what you actually want outside the character as a player, or it can be framed as your character's hopes and dreams, whatever you want to do.
Okay, cool. Sounds good. And now I will stop the recording.
Yes.